daily, but where does that water come from? Your water provider encourages you to get to know your local water source so together we can protect and preserve it. The investments we make as a community to protect our water source now ensure we have a sustainable drinking water supply for the future. Visit drinktap.org to learn more. This message is brought to you by the American Water Works Association and your local water provider.
Tanning, indoors or out, increases your risk of skin cancer, including melanoma, the second most common cancer in young adults, and the leading cause of cancer death in women 25 to 30.
Tanning doesn't make me look healthier. My ambition does.
Tanning doesn't make me stand out. My drive does.
Tanning can cause wrinkles, age spots, and even melanoma, the cancer that kills one person every hour. And using tanning beds significantly increases your risk of developing melanoma.
Tanning doesn't make me glow. My individuality does.
Tanning doesn't make me feel better about myself.
I got the job.
Yeah.
Congrats.
My confidence does.
Tanning doesn't make you more beautiful. It only makes you more at risk. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
With all these new winners at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club, we need to decide who's in charge.
We need a top prize winner.
We need someone who's good with words, like us crossword winners.
If elected leader, I will extend the hours during which all winners can use the diamond-encrusted hot tub.
Yes!
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with $130 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.22 to 4.51. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now. Like Alternative Rewind, where alt rock began. R.E.M., The Cure, Depeche Mode, Pretenders, Talking Heads, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Alternative Rewind, and listen now. Try something new for 2024. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Dear VetTix, thank you for a great experience and for your support of the military and veterans.
Thank you so much, VetTix. Our family has gone through a lot the last few years, and this gave us a nice break.
Every empty seat at a concert game or a special event is a missed opportunity to say thank you to a veteran. Give your extra tickets to VetTix. Give something to those who gave. For more information on how you can make a difference, go to vettix.org.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
And welcome into the Thursday edition of the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy's heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. You can see us live on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. It is Thursday, so you know that always means threadbare topics are on the table. So if you want to get in your threadbare Thursday topics, obviously with the NFL playoffs right around the corner, last week of the regular season, this weekend, tomorrow will be the the final regular season
Football Friday.
Yeah, I got a good one out of him today. I know it's going to be a good day.
Oh, I'm
to bring the fire.
Well, I mean, look, this is a banner day in American history that we don't have. I'm not doing it right now.
Okay.
I have no fear.
All right.
I will lead up to that. We have people that were doing nefarious things that are being outed as we speak. Mm-hmm. As time goes on, I will be throwing out names that are a little strange to me. David Copperfield is the first one. I was today years old when I found out he was still alive.
Oh, really?
I once saw him make an elephant disappear.
Yeah, been out of the public eye for a while.
And I'm starting to think I might know why.
Now, again,
you don't know
what you're referencing. You do not
you don't know
that
you know
anything
he's on a
nefarious
list.
happened.
He's on a list that you don't want to be on. It's kind of like on a jury summons list. Don't want to be on that list. Don't know why you're on that list.
Just because I'm going to the courthouse today doesn't mean I did anything wrong, right?
And
that could be where this falls into. We're learning a lot about some of the movers and shakers and names, I guess. Wow.
Yeah.
It's
I never
weird.
thought
It's
this day
even
was coming.
weirder than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah. There's another name that doesn't make even a little sense. But we'll talk about that later.
That's right. It is a banner day, and we'll be talking about the NFL playoffs coming up in the program in the 1 o'clock hour. I'll be talking with Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, as we'll put a cap on the football season. That won't take up so much of the time because, well, I mean, what is there to say about losing to the West Virginia Mountaineers?
Do it.
In a bowl game.
Do it.
We're going to talk some Florida State with him and the future of the ACC, as well as we'll talk some Tar Heels hoops as they pulled off another win that you heard right here on ESPN Asheville. You hear the Tar Heels all season long.
But the opener of today is, in life, I've heard a lot of people that are older than me say that you never know that you're living in the good old days until the good old days have long passed.
Yes.
And it got me thinking, who that is letting the good times roll right now in the NFL are going to be not for long. And there was one team that I could not stop thinking about.
And who was that?
Because they're in cap hell. They're getting ready to make a horrific decision with a quarterback.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we prepped this, and he still doesn't know what team I'm getting ready to say because it applies to two of them. It's your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right.
You have an aging roster. Yeah, you're playing in a win in your end game against Carolina that you should win. If you lose, then the winner of Atlanta, New Orleans wins the division. But I look at those two teams and go, New Orleans drafts better than you do, and Atlanta is way younger than you. If Atlanta hires a coach that is even competent, and to the latest of what I heard, it appears that Arthur Smith is going to survive.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I don't know. Maybe he knows something about Arthur Blank. I don't know.
Solve the quarterback problem, and that's not a bad team.
Well, according to Ron Rivera, if Alex Smith had not retired, they would have been in much better shape. That's a way to look at that, but I'm going to say I disagree. There has never been a time that I went, that quarterback's in great shape. He's being coached by Ron Rivera.
Right.
But I look at Tampa Bay and just go, I don't see your path out of this.
There's always a path out of it. It's just there's no quick path out of it.
Okay.
And the problem...
hold on. I'm going to stop you before you go further.
Okay.
There is always a path out of it. It's how long that path takes. I have always said there are four kinds of teams in the NFL. There are contenders right now. There are teams that could be a contender 1 year from now, 2 years from now, more than 3 years from now. Tampa Bay falls into that last tier. You will not be Super Bowl relevant for 3+ years because you have all of these excised contracts. You're about to give Baker Mayfield a deal that is mind-boggling. I keep hearing people talk about how good he has been.
Yes.
And he's been such a prodigious quarterback, and he's been just an absolute find for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There are lots of people saying that, yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you the opportunity to, for Buccaneer Nation, say how stupid that is.
Well, I mean, it's
then
ridiculous.
I'm going to give stats that make it real obvious.
It's ridiculous because don't chase the stats. Okay, just because the guy's putting up big yardage and just because he's putting up, I'm not even going to say big touchdowns because it's not really a huge touchdown number. It's just
he's fourth in the NFL.
It's just
he's got 28.
Right. I'm sure, and that's the best numbers he's ever put up and blah, 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 blah. But he's still inaccurate. He's still undependable, right? You can't rely on any kind of consistency out of him. Sure, he'll come out and throw 4 touchdown passes against a dog water team, and then he'll come out and throw 3 interceptions in the next game. It's up and down, and he's been healthy, right? He's played all 16 games, so that's going to help keep him at the top of the list. We were talking in the chat this morning. He's top 5 in the NFC in yards passing. He's top 4 in the NFC in touchdowns thrown, which doesn't really mean a whole lot because Jordan Love is 3rd in the NFC.
You know what that
But
tends
the
to mean?
efficiency
When you
is
start
not there.
looking at stats like that, and he threw for a lot of yards. He threw for a lot of touchdowns. That means one of two things. It could mean that you're really good. It could also mean that your team is really bad. Do you know who the top 5 in passing yards last year were?
No.
Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow. 3 of those quarterbacks were fine, but you're not elite. You also had 3 teams there that didn't do squat, and you had 3 teams that defensively are pretty bad. Now, you look to last year, who were the top 3 in passing touchdowns? Top 3. Prodigious. Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Who followed them? Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Don't get duped by the name on the last 2. They didn't play well, and their teams were not good.
No.
One of them missed the playoffs. One of them was in the playoffs for about long enough for us to just remember, hey, you remember? That was Tom Brady's last game. Wasn't that fun? As they got their brains beat out. Don't fall for stats.
Exactly.
Watch the games. When you watch the game, it becomes very, very obvious that Baker Mayfield is the next in a very long line, the last of which was Daniel Jones. It's not that they're not talented. This is where this argument falls on deaf ears with dum-dums. I'm not telling you that Baker Mayfield is not a top 25 quarterback in this league. That's not what I'm saying. Because when people like me say this, you immediately think, you take what you're thinking I'm saying and you project that onto what I'm actually saying. At $5 million, with a very talented roster that has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs and Devin White, and I could keep doing that for a minute. At $5 million, Baker Mayfield can be serviceable enough. He's also lost you games that would have made this a moot point. You'd already be in the playoffs, and you should already be in the playoffs, but you're not, because Baker Mayfield flat out is not that good. So you prop him up at $5 million, and everything's hunky-dunky, and you make the playoffs, and then you get duped because you want the good times to keep rolling, because this league in the NFL stands for not for long. And your fear is that you're going to fall on the hard times of the New York Jets. It takes a level of incompetence that is borderline impossible to miss the playoffs for 10 straight years in this league. Right now, there is one team that has done it. My incompetent New York Jets. Next on the list is 7 years. 7 years is a long time. It's a long time. That's not as hard to do, but it's pretty difficult. And so you get teams like Tampa Bay that are just clinging on to the good times. And Mike Evans, we won a Super Bowl with him. We won a Super Bowl with Chris Godwin and Devin White. How many young, actually escalating players do you have? How many players on that Tampa Bay Buccaneer roster are going to be better next year than they are right now?
I'd say 3 or 4.
Name them.
You'd have Tristan Wirfs. You have...
Well, it would be a struggle for him to be much worse as a left tackle than he was this year. He's right tackle. He's right tackle. He's right tackle.
Let's see.
But do you think he's going to get better? Do you think that you're going to see something in his age? What is he, 27?
He's 25, I think.
He's not on any of the under 25 list.
24.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's 24.
Wow, that just shows how far he's. Okay, all right. So Tristan Wirfs is one.
Yeah.
Name 2.
Tristan Wirfs, I would say Winfield. is on that list.
I don't think he's going to get any better, but I think he's very prodigious right now.
You think he's as good as he's going to be?
You don't tend to say about that third, fourth year in the league. That's the honey hole.
Yeah,
especially for guys that play like he does.
Yeah, he's super. To me, he's super elite right now.
And I agree with you.
Yaya Diaby. I mean, he's real early for him, but the last 6 games of the season, he has set that line on fire.
Okay, so I guess that's kind of my point. You're pulling a mid-round pass rush exclusive player as the third escalating player you have.
Yes. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I gave you a couple.
And that's where I'm wanting to go with this, because you are a Tampa Bay Buccaneerman. I am a New York Jetman. Do you know how many players on the Jets roster I could tell you are escalating and will be better next year than they are this year? Mm-hmm. This is the worst franchise in the NFL. I'm not trying to tell you it's good. I did it earlier. I got to 14. 14 that started in the last game they played. Yes. Now, 9 of those are on defense. But that's not – I bet you can assume who the 2 on offense are. They were very early picks that I've opined about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is that you give the contract, and now Baker has this expectation. He can't live up to it because that's not who he is. We have 5 years of evidence of Baker Mayfield that this is the best he has ever played. So one of 2 things has happened. Either this is the best situation he's ever been put into because this is the cheapest he has ever been. This is the best roster he has ever been on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're barely skirting by into the playoffs at $5 million. And now you're telling me that we're going to give you $35, $40, $45 million a year for 4 years, and that's going to get better? Name me one thing ever that's gotten more expensive and gotten better. I've seen a meme flying around social media about some kind of corn chip. It's like a knockoff Tostito that apparently used to be like $1. Now it's $3. And it's not as good.
Oh, the Santitas.
Santita.
Yeah.
Which you can find at your local Ingles supermarket. Low prices, love the saving.
Oh, the days of the $2.29. That's what he used to say across the front of the bag. $2.29.
If I'm Tampa Bay, and I've thought about this a lot with you. If I'm Tampa Bay, I look at this run and go, you know what? We're here.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. Beat Carolina, get into the playoffs. You never know. Maybe you make a memory and win one playoff game. Because I'll almost promise you there's no path to you being here again for the next 3 years.
It's quite possible.
And it's not just aging quarterbacks either.
What do you mean?
It's not just Baker Mayfield who's on his, 4th bite of the apple?
Mm-hmm.
It can be guys that were drafted to teams too. And that's what I want to really – I want to give you the cautionary tale of we're going into the draftmas season. This is my favorite time of year. The Daily Draft, our new podcast, starts Monday. This is a time of great hope. And a lot of teams are looking at young quarterbacks going, hey, Jaden Daniels, fix our franchise. Caleb Williams, great talent. He'll fix us. Drake May, same thing. There's 2 that they have very different stories. They have very different tales. But they're very similar to the 3 guys that you're getting ready to see drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. And you should really use this as a way of tempering your expectations. I'll tell you who those are coming up after the break.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% on select Sanctuary by Green Fiber blown-in insulation when you buy 30 or more. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Remember, when you're ready to sell or trade in your next car, go to GiveMeTheVin.com, because one thing's for certain, I love to buy cars.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and my podcast, NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok, is back.
The Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Every Monday and Friday, I'll be joined by a top NBA writer to discuss the biggest stories in the league. And we'll do it in about 15 minutes, so you can stay up to date and keep it moving. Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Now's the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingalls Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Lando Sky Distributors fleet. Begin earning paid time off on your first day. Our drivers average $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Lando Sky offers excellent pay, full benefits, and 401k matching. No experience? Apply for our driver trainee program. Visit inglescareers.com to know more. That's inglescareers.com.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
You are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Back in the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville. It is the Sportsocracy. Check us out on the YouTubes. Get in on the conversation. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to do so. You can also throw in your super chats. We got one of those.
Nope. No. You know, it's funny. I always do that on the day that I have to disconnect that because I'm doing something else.
Exactly.
I'm your huckleberry.
There we go. It's from the Ocho. He said, Baker was always good, but never good enough. That's why everyone has moved on from him. And then Stephen Tao threw in Arizona teas used to be 99 cents. That's the best analogy I can give you. Do you remember when we were younger? They're not 99 cents. Nothing is 99 cents. You get a Swift kick in the huevos for 99 cents right now.
I'll bring you one tomorrow.
Sports economy. Yeah, you're probably buying it from a gas station that went out of business 8 years ago.
Hotspot.
At Sports Think ESPN. I didn't say that. He did.
No, I'm saying that's where I buy mine. Trust me, I buy Arizona sweet teas.
And they're still 99 cents.
They're still 99 cents.
They're not anywhere that I have seen them.
Oh, boy.
And that's kind of where I was headed.
Uh-huh.
Is that, when we were kids, everybody bought those?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you remember when we were kids, you would see those everywhere you went. I could not tell you the last time I saw somebody drink one of those because the price went up. It's not worth $2.
Mm-hmm.
I can get a Monster for $2 and $2, and that's a premium beverage, just like the Beast Unleashed. You can find at retailers near you.
It's blood.
21 years or older. It's not worth that.
Yeah.
When it was 99 cents, was it great? No, the product didn't change. The price changed.
No, yeah, for $8 million, Baker Mayfield is, that's caviar. That's filet mignons right there. That's good eating.
No, it's still Vienna sausages and saltine crackers, but it was cheap.
It got you to a playoff.
And cheap
game.
is fine.
Maybe.
Okay? Cheap is fine. It's when cheap becomes expensive.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's no longer a value.
Right.
And so you can't look past the fact that it's sweet tea that's not sweet. Or it's green tea, which is weirdly carbonated. I don't know why that always freaked me out, but it did. Green tea is not supposed to be carbonated. No. It should not come in a can. No, that is weird.
No, sir.
You can't look past it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two young quarterbacks in this league. One of them is Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. The other is Kenny Pickett of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is always going to be 9-8, 8-9. Or actually, they're never 8-9. They're always going to be 9-8, 10-7, or 11-6. I was about to use a line that I usually use for other teams. They'll always be that. You know why? Because it's one of the premier organizations in sports. They're never bad. They haven't been bad for 17 years. Is that because of Kenny Pickett? Is he the reason that's happening? Would this be a Super Bowl contender with a better quarterback?
I don't know about Super Bowl contender, but they'd be a contender.
They'd be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at that roster with Green Bay the same way. Oh, you're a contender in the NFC. If you, and I'm going to make this clear as I can, if you were really good playing one of the worst schedules in the NFL, you wouldn't be having to play a game in Week 18 that you had to win to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But he got so much better over the course of time. Uh-huh. You know, when you watch the film, that's not true. But you know what changed? Stats changed. You started beating up on the little kid, and all of a sudden you looked better than you are. I'm not telling you Green Bay's not going to come back here because they, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, are a very well-run organization. Team that drafts well. They did what I encouraged the Carolina Panthers to do yesterday when we fixed the Carolina Panthers. Draft a ton of pass catchers and hope you hit on 4 of them. Green Bay did.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay did. But here's the problem with that. You've got all of these guys. How many of them went in the first round? How many first-round wide receivers does Green Bay have?
None.
None. How many first-round tight ends do they have?
None.
None. You're in year 2 of the vast majority of them. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, who can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem that creates?
You get 2 more years.
Oh, yeah, they all become free agents at the same time. And then you have to pick who you can keep. And as time goes on, because you got to give Jordan Love all this money because he's that good, or is he that good because he's 99 cents? And as you take the talent away, all of a sudden, that sweet tea's just not sweet. And I can get a Milo's for the same price.
Right.
And that's good. That's good drinking right there.
Plus, it comes in a plastic jug.
Yeah, which is how sweet tea should come. Sweet tea, also a tea that should not be carbonated. Weird that it's in a can.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at Pittsburgh and Green Bay and go, I can't tell you that you're living in the good times. I think you're living in your organization times.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice Green Bay never has picks in the top 5? They're never that bad. In my lifetime, I think it's happened twice. There's a reason for that. The organization is that good, and it props up mediocre, which is exactly what you're getting out of Jordan Love and exactly what you're getting out of Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've also been propped up by the quarterback, right? I mean, in our lifetimes, for the most part, where they've only had 2 other than Jordan Love.
Well, you hit on quarterbacks, but I'm not going to say you were propped up by that. You have to have things around him.
Well, of course.
Justin Herbert has nothing around him. They're, 5-12?
Right, and yes, I'm not saying they're not, but that played into it.
No
like
doubt.
you can still have a good team, but you can be this.
All right,
This is
my
what
argument
you are
to what
when you don't have that quarterback.
But my argument to what you just said is that the Green Bay Packers had Aaron Rodgers last year. They have Jordan Love this year. The result is exactly the same. The only difference is that you're in the NFC. The NFC is not as good this year as it was last year, so now you're going to make the playoffs where you didn't last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference.
Mm-hmm.
The result is the same. Just because somebody is younger or cheaper does not mean that it's actually working. You're getting duped by this, just like the New York Giants did. Do you think they look at Daniel Jones now and go, oh, yeah, we got the guy? Go back and watch Daniel Jones last year. I'll level with you as best I can. Daniel Jones looked better for 17 games last year than Jordan Love has looked at any point this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care the name that's on the helmet. I don't care the name that's on the back of the jersey. Take it all away. Watch the tape. It was infinitely obvious that Daniel Jones was not a franchise quarterback. He looked better than Jordan Love does. And now you're stuck with him.
Yep.
And it hijacks your franchise.
Mm-hmm. I don't agree that Green Bay and Pittsburgh are perfect fits for what we're talking about here because I don't believe that they're in the good times. I believe that.
I believe they're in your franchise times.
I don't believe any of these teams that we've talked about so far are in the good times. You only get put in that category because you're still alive for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
None of you, I don't think your front offices are sitting down and looking at each other going, damn, we're good. We're good, and we can build on this.
All right,
there are still big decisions to be made, and I think, or I guess I would hope, that those franchises can get their brains together, sit down in that room and go, okay, we've got some good pieces, but we all know that one thing that's not here, and it's the same with all of them.
All right, so who's in the good times that's about to become the bad times?
I don't really feel like there's anybody that's on the precipice of a complete collapse.
I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
And it's a team that very well could be playing in a Super Bowl a month from now.
Who's that?
The Buffalo Bills.
Oh.
Hey, that same thing that I asked you about Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Same question about Buffalo. Who you got that's ascending? The escalating player. Stephon Diggs getting better?
No,
I didn't think so. James Cook going to his first Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's a running back. Running backs age like milk.
He'll get better for a year.
We know this. He'll get better for a year.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Stephon Diggs is going to start regressing.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel Davis never took off.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 games every single year.
Khalil Shakir.
The answer would be the answer to me would be the 2 linebackers.
Okay.
Terrell Bernard and his name Dorian Williams.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Every other piece is either in their prime or on the backside of it. And I got news for you. Buffalo has yet to prove to me that they draft in a way that's going to be able to let the good times roll. But we got Osiris Torrance last year. Any idiot could have made that pick. I gave him to you in the first round. He fell in your lap. Tremendous. Mm-hmm. Those 2 linebackers, you're right. You hit that. What else you hit? You feel warm and fuzzy about that secondary? No, you had to go trade for Rasul Douglas just to put a big piece of duct tape on that because it had gotten so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 aging safeties. You got 2 aging linemen. And I don't see how it's going to get better.
No.
The funny thing about Buffalo is that they're the first team I've ever looked at and gone, I feel like you're on the backside of the window, and this might be the best position you've ever been. It's not the best team. Don't get that wrong. It's not the best team. You also have the lowest expectations.
Mm-hmm.
This is the lowest expectations have been for the Buffalo Bills in the 5 years I've been doing it.
Yeah, because you weren't expected to make the playoffs 2-3 weeks ago.
Correct.
By many.
Me.
Right.
I was one of them.
And now you're playing your way into the playoffs. You very well could win this week and win the division. Then you got a home playoff game. That's going to play big when you're in Buffalo. And, I mean, we talked about the possibility of Buffalo taking that step back with Miami coming on strong with Tua. That happened. Obviously, the New York Jets thing didn't happen this year, but everything that I expected to happen this year for the Jets, I went 4 plays into the season and immediately moved that to next year because I don't feel like there's any way that they're blowing that up. So they're not going to be off the radar next year.
No.
At this point, the season ends. Even if Buffalo goes on and wins the Super Bowl, well, maybe not at that point, but if they don't go on and win the Super Bowl, but they make a push, next year you're right back to where you were this year for many of us, and you're the 3rd best team in this division.
And that's my argument.
Mm-hmm.
In the YouTube chats, Tyson Carter said the Bills need to win this year. The AFC's wide open. No Burrow, down year for Mahomes. Texans, Colts, and Jags will all be better next year. That's my point.
Yep.
That's my point.
The problem is
that if you're standing still in this league, which I'm going to level with you, there are a ton of you that are. The Buffalo Bills, I agree with what Bill Belichick's saying right now. It's not that they've gotten any better. No, the rest of the conference has gotten worse. Kansas City's not as good as they've been. Miami has had a rash of injuries, and they've got a coach that wears capris and doesn't make the best decisions in late blowouts, which cost you both of your pass rushers.
Right.
This is your golden opportunity to go in as the 2. The only team that I feel better about than you 100% is Baltimore. They slip up, and you've got to beat a Kansas City team with no receivers, or a Cleveland team with Joe Flacco. That's not as daunting as having to go into Cincinnati with Joe Burrow or having to go into Jacksonville if they had escalated to the point that we thought that they were going to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Or taking on a Cleveland team next year with Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb back. Or
Cleveland
whatever.
is an interesting one because I want to put Cleveland in the you're living in the good times too.
Mm-hmm. But are
You've caught lightning
are
in a
those
bottle.
good times ending? is the question, because I look at what they were able to do this year, and
what they're doing right now is sustainable.
Mm-hmm. What are they doing?
Mm-hmm. What do they have right now that is sustainable? Well, it's funny you mentioned that, and I was kind of hoping that you would. Have you looked at the old cap ledger for the Browns moving forward?
I have not.
It's not great. They're $18 million over the cap for next year, and the downside of being a really good drafting team is that check comes due pretty fast. So you're $18 million over the cap. Zadarius Smith, free agent. Sione Takitaki, free agent. Slew of other guys, free agents. None that are top of the marquee. You don't have Amari Cooper going into that or any of the high-end guys. But this is what happens in the NFL. This is why it's not for long, because it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. Right now, you have this pass rush where you can just send guys from everywhere, and you've got Myles Garrett and who cares on the other side. I got a 1 year, one off, 60% of my snaps pass rusher that can just come out and be a bulldog. You're probably not going to have that next year.
Maybe.
And watching this team, the best quarterback play I've seen has been out of Joe Flacco, not out of Deshaun Watson.
Agreed.
I think it's a fool's errand to think he can never get back to that. But if I'm Cleveland, I'm enjoying this run like there is no tomorrow, because there may not be.
Would they be in a better position with Deshaun Watson
this year?
Right now?
No.
Than Joe Flacco?
No.
Really?
No. I got a former Super Bowl champion. Is he physically limited? Of course he is. He is older than I am. But you take that defense with that running game, with that line, yeah, I think they have a better chance with Joe Flacco than they would have ever had with Deshaun Watson. Ask yourself this question. Did you ever think Cleveland was a legit contender in the AFC with Deshaun Watson?
No.
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 You think they're a legit contender now?
Kinda.
There you go.
Kinda.
Obviously.
But it's not.
Well, what changed? The thing that changed is that now you have the steady veteran at the high end of this team.
Yeah, yeah. But it's
because Deshaun Watson flat
also
out beat them more than once.
Agreed. And it was not a great start to the season, but somebody mentioned in the YouTube comments, and I lost my eye on it, so I don't know who it was, but somebody said something to the effect of, Deshaun he did have a couple of good games before he went out with the injury. And I agree with that. Like, I felt like it was turning, and then the injury happened. And I feel like Deshaun Watson can be better than Joe Flacco is right now. He probably would have been, but we'll never know.
He's more talented, but Gambit fan said, stop it with Watson will be better. In fairness, I didn't say will be better. I said it would be a fool's errand to say he couldn't be better.
Yeah.
Flacco came off the couch, and the Browns went from a lost season to a legit Super Bowl contender. Exactly.
It's a great story. It's a great story that you want to catch lightning in a bottle, and awesome. But I go right back to thinking they're going to be better than this next year. When they're healthy, when they have their number one running back, when they have Deshaun Watson back, they're not going away.
And I'm not saying they're going away.
Yeah.
Good times is we're better than the talent says we should be. They were not a Super Bowl contender. Now they are. And I think I was higher on Cleveland than anybody. They were never a Super Bowl contender to me. I said they would be a headache. I didn't see a way they were going to win 3 games in the playoffs.
Right.
Now I'll look at Joe Flacco and go, the quarterback play's gotten better. Offense has gotten more prodigious. Defense is allowed to just pin their ears back now. They've embarrassed a slew of teams over the last handful of weeks.
That they have. And hopefully it can continue. Hopefully they can keep winning the turnover battle. I read that this morning in the somebody did a Fatal Flaws article on the Cleveland Browns, pointing out the fact that, sure they're on this nice little hot streak here, but think about how many turnovers they've created and how many they've had. It's damn near even. Joe Flacco has turned the ball over a lot.
Yes.
Since he's been there, but the defense is able to come up with it. So when you
that's the
I'm
exact
just saying,
opposite
as you're
of the
going
old.
into the playoffs, think about that of how
could
much
be better.
Can that continue?
That's the opposite of the Broncos theory that I had. That's the number one thing I look for when I watch tape. How many of these things are just completely fluky?
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason we have turnover-worthy play statistics. Zach Wilson, there were a number of dazzling throws, and then at the end of the game, you would look at turnover-worthy plays, and there were 12 of them, which is unheard of. Oh. Even in the good games. The best game he ever played, I think he had 9.
Right.
And you just look at that and go, this is not going to go well. It's not going to go well because as soon as the fortunes switch, we're doomed. And I look at Cleveland and go, I'm not sure this couldn't be better because of what you just said. But long-term prognosis, if I'm Cleveland, I'm enjoying the hell out of this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to enjoy it like I got 6 weeks to live.
Oh, yeah.
Because that might be what it is.
Oh, yeah. You're playing with house money.
I'm not saying definitively that's what it is. That's how I'd be enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the luxury of Kansas City where you're looking at Pat Mahomes going, hey, he's young and signed until the end of time. We will be here every year because Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that way about a lot of teams. But there's an opposite side of this coin. How many teams are sitting on the outside looking in? And it won't be like this for long.
You're in the Sportsocracy. The ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yes, snow and freezing rain on the way, and you know how this one goes. With elevation, a little bit better chance of accumulating snowfall, but early Saturday could get a little icy here. This afternoon, gorgeous day for early January, 40 and sunny. Tonight, 20, teens in many spots. Tomorrow, becoming cloudy, 43. Then toward morning, Saturday, we'll see some snow and freezing rain, 29, and then rising temperatures as, at least here locally, we change to rain sometime Saturday, but a longer period of freezing rain and or snow with elevation. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop the closeout event now at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Valid 1/4/24 to 1/24/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
So I have been in the operating room most of my career, watching people have orthopedic surgery, watching people get knees replaced, hips replaced, shoulders fixed, and I knew there had to be a better way.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a medical director for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain relief.
I see so many people who could have been helped before they got to the operating room if only they had known about regenerative medicine.
QC Kinetics, a natural alternative that uses your body's own healing properties to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue, providing long-lasting relief without drugs, surgery, or downtime.
Well, it feels great when I do get to see somebody who we help, who I know I kept out of the operating room. It's amazing how we change people's lives without surgery.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
It's bow time. Hurry into Bojangles for 2 scratch-made sizzling sausage biscuits for just $4. 1 bite and you'll want breakfast for dinner. Good thing we serve savory sausage biscuits all day. But this 2-for-4 deal won't last forever. It's bow time.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top quality fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace. It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. You still want to get outside? Okay, we'll do that.
Well, I mean, we've done it every day for 3 years.
I mean,
so
it's okay. It's
one would think.
It's whatever. Good news. Tyreek Hill, his entire family, everybody's okay. Probably heard the story yesterday. He had to leave practice because of a fire at his house. Everybody likes to mention at his $7 million South Florida mansion, 9 million square feet. Like, I don't care how big his house is. It doesn't make me feel any more attached to the story or less attached to the story. It's terrible. The dude was at work, and you get a phone call that the damn house is on fire. So he goes racing home. Everybody got out. Firefighters said when they arrived on the scene, they saw a plume of smoke coming out of the second floor of the building. The fire ate up some of the attic as well. Now they have determined what caused the fire. And PSA to all parents out there, stop letting kids play with lighters. Apparently there was a young child in the house, left alone, found a lighter, and started playing. And I don't know, set the drapes on fire or the bedspread or something. And that is bad news. Bad news. You got to watch where you're leaving your lighters laying around. Did you ever do that? Did your parents smoke? Did you play with your parents' lighters or anything? No. Really? You strike me as the pyro kind of kid.
I'm actually scared of fire.
Real? Oh,
I got burned as a kid.
Oh, yep, that'll do it. That'll do it every time. Well, good, because I was the pyro kid. I was projecting onto you because I was the pyro kid.
Yeah, I have this big Yeti beard, but what you can't see is that there's a burn spot right underneath my chin.
Yeesh. Was that like a campfire accident or?
Long story.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, PSA, parents, watch what your kids are playing with because Tyreek Hill, that's going to be a cleanup bill. I mean, he can afford it, but glad everybody's okay from the fire yesterday. You have an outside story.
Oh, you didn't play the sound. I never know when it's actually happening because you didn't play the sound.
I just rolled into it.
Oh, there's that. Apparently, Jason Kelsey and I have more in common than I thought we did.
Mm-hmm.
We both have glorious, flowing beards.
Mm-hmm.
We're both the songbirds of our generation, as evidenced by the Eagles' Christmas album last year, excuse me. And apparently, he has the same take on David Tepper that I did.
Okay.
So he just put out a new Heights podcast with his brother Travis, and the story of David Tepper came up. And he responded with, throwing a drink or spitting on someone, I'd rather you just punch me in the face. That's so much more disrespectful to somebody. Do you think that's accurate? There's an air of I'm better than you in that toss. Is that fair to say? Now, that's not exactly the same take that I had. It's in the ballpark. To me, girls throw drinks. It's not I'm better than you. That's how that goes. I've never seen a man throw a drink at another man's face.
Mm-hmm. When we were talking about this in our little chat over the weekend, my response when you said that was no, because you don't physically engage with the plebes, right? He's exactly right. Everyone is below David Tepper, and I will not, most of the time, rich people who have that sense of entitlement, they won't even pretend that you're in the room. But if you have a dealing with them, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go over there and physically punch that guy. Just, here. It's like spitting on someone.
That's actually
now, if
happened.
He'd spat on him, that'd have been a much bigger problem for me.
I will literally beat the brain out of your head.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that is let's see. I'm trying to think of a good word to use. I guess just the To me, it's a more acceptable way of dismissing someone. I wouldn't do it because it is a weak way.
Yeah, that was
to assert your dominance.
That was actually another layer of this I was going to say. Don't spit on people. That's a good way to falafel around and find out.
Oh, yeah. See, at this point, the guy complaining about having the drink thrown on him, I'm kind of thinking, I don't care. I don't want to hear your complaints. It didn't hurt you. It's not like he was throwing acid on you or anything. There was no assault that occurred there.
No.
You spit on me? Lock him up. Throw him in jail. I don't care. To take his team away from him, whatever. Because that is a whole nother level of disrespect.
You spit on me, you go taking your team away is going to be the least of your, because I'm going to take your ability to walk away.
I do still kind of admire the fact that David Tepper did not apologize for anything. Just don't forget that, all right?
You admire that?
Admire the fact that he's getting away with it. Because nobody else seems to be focusing on the fact that, okay, he apologized and now we're moving on. No, he didn't. He never apologized. He said specifically he wished that he had let security handle any issue that arose. And he also said that, he was basically, what was it? Basically that the NFL was right to discipline his behavior. But never in that did he say, I shouldn't have done that, or I wish I'd acted a different way, or I'm sorry to the gentleman that I threw my drink on. None of that.
So he pulled the Dave Chappelle in his latest stand-up. Talks about the kid rushing the stage, and he's like, in spite of the fact that's what I pay you for, Travis!
Yeah, exactly. Travis, where are you at?
It's a security guy. If you haven't seen that stand-up, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Definitely don't wear your new slick your new slick loafers when you got to be chasing down somebody who rushed the stage.
No doubt. If you offend, I'll go ahead and tell you, if you offend easily, don't watch that, because none of us want to hear you complain about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Facts do not care about your feelings. All right, time to take another break here. You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Yeah, my name is Mike Peterson, and I help people connect to healthcare. We really help people because people are confused out there. They don't understand what their options are. They're often misinformed. They often have opinions and ideas that are inaccurate, and we can really help them simplify things and make sure they get accurate information and get what they need. We help everybody. Primarily, we're mainly helping folks who do not get their health insurance through their business, but we also help businesses get health insurance. So really, anybody in the community, anybody in North Carolina, we're helping figure out what their health insurance options are.
Hummingbird Insurance. Visit hummingbirdins.com for a free consultation. Health insurance made easy.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Summit Dental is accepting new patients. At Summit, they submit insurance on your behalf and provide you with estimates, so you have everything you need to make an informed treatment decision. They also work with Care Credit, and they're happy to help you apply. Care Credit helps you pay for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. See why Summit Dental has so many 5-star reviews on Google. Book today at AshevilleSummitDental.com. In-house savings programs are also available. Book online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
Back of the Sportsocracy and Week 18 of the NFL. Unfortunately, it doesn't start tonight like every other week of the season has.
No, we don't. That's because that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. Everybody needs equal rest for the playoffs.
That wouldn't be fair. Like a name coming out on this Jeffrey Epstein list that's not here to defend himself. So I chose to do it for him.
I did nothing wrong. I was there, but I only watched.
I did it for him. So
Nope.
That's a button that I should never. I don't know what got me to Google Stephen Hawking. But I did.
Am I the only one that feels like I don't know? It can't be true. All of the names that you've heard, it can't be true.
No, as soon as I heard Al Gore, that's when I went, the hell did Al Gore do there? Trying to explain global warming? Lockbox.
You never know. That's not one that would surprise me. It's other names that have been thrown out. They're like Stephen Hawking. Like, how's his name get thrown into this?
I have no idea.
What? No.
The only way Stephen Hawking was on that island is if they asked him to do IT.
David Copperfield. That's another name that's been thrown out in all of this. And I'm just thinking, really? That guy?
See, but this is where I actually out them for what they did. All right, them just being on a list, that means that you're going to get collateral damage of people that did nothing.
Exactly.
And then the ones that actually did something are going to get away with it.
Right.
And that does us no good.
No.
Which is why I'm making jokes about it. And do you actually do something about it with the judicial system?
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild, and the names keep coming out, and it doesn't really provide any answers.
No.
About anything. It's just, who's the next name we could talk about?
No, and now all I want to do is impersonations of Al Gore. Probably the funniest bit I've ever heard in my life was Darrell Hammond during the 2000 presidential election. They did the fake debate. Will Ferrell was George W. Bush. Darrell Hammond was Al Gore. And he was talking about health care. He said, under my opponent's plan, her house would be burned to the ground. I don't know that I have ever laughed that hard in my entire life.
Right. And then they saw that skit and they went, 5 years later, what's going to be our big target? Oh, yeah, throwing grandma off the cliff. And they made it become a real thing. That was a spoof that became a real argument at one point in politics in America.
Oh, yeah.
God, we're doomed.
John Slater, Man Bear Pig. No doubt. It's been super serial. Okay, just go with me. I'll explain to you where Man Bear Pig is.
Points for Stephen Tao. Copperfield should have made the island disappear. But the greatest trick anybody ever pulled. You're in the Sportsocracy. ESPN
We're big dumb bears, folks.
Hey,
we're big dumb bears, and this
the
segment
number
was
one
not
story that anybody's talking about.
This
you
segment
knew it
was not long enough to do
point.
the opposite side of. Not for long.
We're going to push that till after we talk to Jones Angell.
Yeah, you can't do 37 minutes on the teams that are eroding and catching on fire, and then here's 4 minutes on the good ones because we don't manage our time well.
We like to do that from time to time. Jeremy,
I do find it funny that anytime we talk about anything that is like trending current event, the YouTube chat turns into 49 Don Rickles, and I can't say any of the things you're saying right now because I like the fact that my key works when I show up here, at least one of them.
Yes.
So I see you. I appreciate what you're doing. I just can't say it out loud.
Your daily draft segments will begin next week, Jeremy, on the YouTube stream, as Flostradamus gets ready for the Draftmas season.
Oh, Draftmas tree, oh, Draftmas tree.
Is this like is this like Halloween for Draftmas? Like it's not actually the Draftmas season, but we're almost there.
Yes, this is like the best time of year because as a jetman, I don't have to watch my brother get slapped in the face for 60 game minutes every week. And now I can just look to the future and the gifts that Drafty Claus will put under the tree that I can open on Draftmas morning.
End of the regular season is Halloween. The Super Bowl is Thanksgiving. And then it's fully Draftmas time as we get you prepared for the 2024 draft class. Jeremy's going to be he's got all the things working to get down to Mobile this year.
Yes.
Get to the Senior Bowl.
Not 100% sure how our show's going to look through that week, but we're efforting.
We're going to bring it to you one way or the other. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We'll have Tar Heel time after the break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yes, snow and freezing rain on the way, and you know how this one goes. With elevation, a little bit better chance of accumulating snowfall, but early Saturday, could get a little icy here. This afternoon, gorgeous day for early January, 40 and sunny. Tonight, 20, teens in many spots. Tomorrow, becoming cloudy, 43. Then toward morning, Saturday, we'll see some snow and freezing rain, 29, and then rising temperatures as, at least here locally, we change to rain sometime Saturday, but a longer period of freezing rain and or snow with elevation. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
With all these new winners at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club, we need to decide who's in charge.
We need a top prize winner.
We need someone who's good with words, like us crossword winners.
If elected leader, I will extend the hours during which all winners can use the diamond-encrusted hot tub.
Yes!
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with $130 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.22 to 4.51. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
So I have been in the operating room most of my career, watching people have orthopedic surgery, watching people get knees replaced, hips replaced, shoulders fixed, and I knew there had to be a better way.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a medical director for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain relief.
I see so many people who could have been helped before they got to the operating room if only they had known about regenerative medicine.
QC Kinetics, a natural alternative that uses your body's own healing properties to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue, providing long-lasting relief without drugs, surgery, or downtime.
Well, it feels great when I do get to see somebody who we help, who I know I kept out of the operating room. It's amazing how we change people's lives without surgery.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The free iHeart Radio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Alternative Rewind, where all rock began. R.E.M., The Cure, Depeche Mode, Pretenders, Talking Heads, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Alternative Rewind, and listen now. Try something new for 2024. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
This is Carolina basketball.
2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer. R.J. Davis, he's going to try a quick three. Yes, from the right sideline.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Ends up to Baycott, and he gets the run out. Two-handed flush. Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
Back on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. It is a Thursday, and that means it's Tar Heel time for the second hour of the program, or the start of the second hour here, as we check in with Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Jones, how you doing, man?
Tank, doing great. Good to be with you, and hope you have a happy New Year, and looking forward to a busy next couple of months with Carolina basketball. Certainly, Tar Heels have played well. They haven't been perfect, but played well to this point, and got a big win the other night at Pitt, and looking at another tough road trip coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, that we are. Already out to a good start in conference play, sitting in the in the top 10. Armando Bacot continuing to roll up all of the statistics as he passed the 2,000-point mark the other night. That was pretty historic.
Yeah, and look, Armando's played basketball for Carolina for a long time, right? I mean,
12 years, I think.
This is his fifth year, and he started a large majority of those games. I think he's over 140 starts now in his career. So some of those numbers are simply due to his consistency for as long as he has played. But that doesn't matter when you're in the top 10, and now actually I think he's seventh all time in Carolina history in scoring, and just one of 7 players to score 2,000 or more points, then that's pretty significant. And I think he played well in that game against Pittsburgh, particularly in the second half in that game, and he has been steady this year. Obviously R.J. Davis has been terrific in scoring the basketball. Harrison Ingram has played well. Cormac Ryan has had some games where he has done really well, and you're seeing guys like Jalen Washington and Seth Trimble take some steps forward from where they were a year ago. So this is an exciting team, Tank, in the fact that it does have some very veteran, consistent, kind of known qualities, right, in Bacot and Davis. But then I think you're seeing some more guys, particularly those younger players, Trimble, Washington, the freshman Elliot Cadeau, that you can see the growth from those guys as they've moved through the year to this point. So long way to go, and certainly Saturday at Clemson will be tough. Then it's another road game for Carolina at NC State after that. So not going to get any easier, but Carolina feels pretty good about where it is right now.
Did you learn anything about this team with the Pittsburgh win?
Yes. I thought that was a really tough win, and I don't mean tough necessarily as far as the difficulty level, although it certainly was not easy to go win on the road against a solid Pitt team. But that game was a fight at the very beginning. I mean, from the very start, it was just a really physical, kind of messy game. The officials really let things play out, particularly in the first half as far as the physicality. Carolina didn't score until I think it was the 13:37 mark. They had missed their first 10 shots. And, I think there's some times in the past, Tank, where, if Carolina was in a physical game in which the offense wasn't going well early, that may bode poorly for the Tar Heels for the rest of that particular afternoon or evening. But, Carolina in that game never backed down from the fight, never backed down from the challenge. Even with that slow start offensively, when they hit their first basket, which was an R.J. Davis three-pointer, it made the score 6-3. So it's not like they were down 18-0 at that point, because their defense, their rebounding, their toughness had kept them in the game, even when the offense wasn't working the way they wanted. And so I'm not sure we would have seen that at times here in the recent past. And so I know that Carolina really wanted that game. They enjoyed it. Pittsburgh is a team that has caused them trouble here over the last season or two. And they were games that, while not necessarily just like the game that happened the other night, they were games that had similar qualities that Carolina was unable to come out on top. And so for them to be able to withstand that poor performance early, to match the physicality in the fight, and then eventually stretch that game out as it went along, I thought was really impressive. And I'll say this thing, it was the third consecutive game that Carolina's defense has been really, really impressive. Now one of those three games was against Charleston Southern, who Carolina's just better than, but the other two were Oklahoma and Pittsburgh. And so I think those were pretty quality defensive performances. The Oklahoma game, Carolina forced, I think it was 18 turnovers, had either 9 or 10 steals in that game. In the game against Charleston Southern, it was 12 or 13 turnovers and 9 more steals, whatever it was. And
Right.
so, and then the Pittsburgh game, they really forced Pitt to struggle to shoot. They forced them into hard shots. Pitt shot, I think it was 31% from the floor and only made 5 3-pointers in nearly 30 attempts. And so to have that kind of defensive performance stacked on top of each other game after game after game, which we have seen here in recent weeks, I thought that was really impressive as well.
Well, we read that exactly the same way because I came away with the same impression, was that was a game that I feel like maybe last year's team, maybe even year before last team would have lost, would have found a way to give up the fight, or not necessarily give up the fight, but just to not be able to climb out of that after such a rough start to the game. So, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Well, this team, I will say, I do think this team has a little bit of an edge to it, and I think that there's one thing that I don't think anyone can question if you've watched Carolina play, and that is that the Tar Heels will compete. That doesn't mean that they're going to play well every game, that they're going to shoot well every game, that they're going to do everything right every game. But I do think they have proven through a pretty fair amount of examples now, 13 games into the season, that they're there to compete. And I think a great individual example of that is Harrison Ingram. I mean, Harrison couldn't make a basket the other night against Pitt. I mean, he was getting good looks, open threes, and tip-ins around the basket, but he just couldn't get anything to fall. And I think you could, when you were 0 of 10 and 0 of 11, which he was at one point, you could say, oh, yeah, it's just not my night, and then kind of go through the motions, and maybe you get in foul trouble because you're frustrated or whatever. But instead, he proceeds to get a career-high 15 rebounds, and he blocks 2 shots, and he has 3 assists and no turnovers. And he ended up making, while he only made 2 baskets the whole game, one of them was a layup in transition that gave Carolina a 10-point lead, double figures for the first time, and then one of them was a 3-pointer after Pitt had whittled that lead down to 6, and he hit a 3 to take it back out to 9. And so I just thought that was a nice individual example of Carolina, I think, as a whole this year, that even if the conditions aren't perfect, if it isn't 72 degrees and sunny, they're still there to compete.
At noon on Saturday, we'll have Carolina taking on Clemson. Clemson coming off of a loss last night to Miami. That is a game that got away from Clemson. If you did not see how that game ended, Miami went on a hell of a hot streak in the second half and ended up pulling the quote unquote upset. Although this early stage in the season, I'm not sure one's that much better than the other, or that we know that definitively at this point. So Saturday is the Clemson game, and then before we talk to you next Thursday, it'll be at NC State. So 2 pretty good rivalry games in the ACC ahead for the Tar Heels. Before we let you go, Jones, I want to let's put a capper on the football season. The bowl game, obviously, final score did not go the way the Tar Heels would have wanted. We've already seen there will be a change in defensive coordinator this upcoming year. Gene Chizik will not be returning. So, what is the what set the stage for us here for I guess the off season and spring ball?
Yeah, Tank, I thought the bowl game to me kind of was what it was in an isolated form, if that makes sense. Carolina lost that game, but the Tar Heels didn't have about a third of their team, and I think the best players that Carolina had all season weren't competing in that game. And so, while yes, you never want to lose, I'm not suggesting that. I don't think Carolina had the best opportunity to win considering the personnel available. I thought Carolina played hard and certainly competed, and just the deficiencies that the Heels had finally became too much, particularly in the second half. But to me, that game was just a game. I think there's a much bigger questions for Carolina going into this offseason of what is the path moving forward, because we've seen the Heels now 2 consecutive years where, they were 9-1 2 years ago and finished 9-5. And they were 6-0 this year and finished 8-5. And so why has that happened 2 years in a row? Why is Carolina not able to continue the same level of success? Why are they having these defensive wear downs and breakdowns, particularly as the season goes along? Because Carolina's defense was not bad at the beginning of the season, but by the end of the year, it was really struggling. And so, why has that occurred a couple years in a row? I think that's a question that has to be answered. It's probably part of the reason why you've seen a change at that position for Carolina. And the Tar Heels are going to have to now figure out a path forward without a quarterback that is Sam Howell or Drake May. And that's not to suggest that Summer Harrell, I thought, had a solid performance in the bowl game. I thought when he got hurt late in the first half, that really hurt his overall ability. Between Connor Harrell, Max Johnson, the transfer coming in from Texas A&M, Tad Hudson, the talented freshman who redshirted this year, there's plenty of options there. But none of those guys are as proven qualities as that Sam Howell and Drake May are and were. And so how does Carolina move forward as well now when you don't have a really elite level quarterback, or at least a quarterback that we know is elite right now? And so that'll be, all of those are big questions I think have to be answered on the larger scale for the Heels as they go through this offseason.
Yep. And final thoughts before we let you go. I also got to get your thoughts on this whole Florida State thing because Florida State gets left out of the playoff, undefeated ACC champion. Obviously, we all know what happened in the bowl game. Nobody played. They got thumped by Georgia, and then all the news starts coming out of we're doing whatever we can to get out.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think Florida State should have been in. Secondly, I think that it shows you how broken the bowl system is, that, nobody plays in these games anymore if you're not in the playoffs, and you saw that with Carolina, you saw it with Florida State and a bunch of others. And then finally, it is simply a financial decision at this point for anyone who doesn't want to be in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I don't think there is any desire to leave the ACC for Florida State or for anyone because it is a bad place to be, a bad situation. It's poorly run. You think there's a conspiracy. None of those things are in play. It simply comes down to dollars. And if you are supposed to compete with the Georgias and the Alabamas and the Michigans and the Texases of the world on the football field, or if you're supposed to compete with the Kentuckys of the world in basketball, how are you supposed to do this when you are making so much less money than they are? And so that is just a fundamental question that has to get figured out, because it can, Tank, we've talked about this for years now, you can manage it in the short term, but eventually when you're making $40, $50 million less, not just one year, but every year, it grows, and that deficit becomes too large to overcome, and all of a sudden you're playing a totally different game than they are, and that's not where Florida State, that's not where Carolina, that's not where anybody wants to be. And so it's purely a financial question that has to get answered.
Yeah, Florida State obviously is they're the linchpin to all of this for me, because Florida State finally gives up or whatever, says we can't be here anymore. It's not good for our business to be here anymore. They pick up and leave, then that's got to start the exodus for those who still want to be there. And, of course, North Carolina, as being one of the other biggest brands in the ACC, always keeps getting lumped into that.
Yes, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. It is. It's weird times right now because, as you said, there's a major problem with the college bowl system. Was reading an article earlier today with the organizer of the bowl season, and he was saying that we've got to tweak the schedules here. We've got to stop with the early transfer windows and all of that to make sure that these contests are worth something.
Yeah,
because
and
currently
I got to
not.
go after this, so I'll give you a quick answer, and then I'm going to have to leave. But yes, it is. The month of December in college football is ridiculous. Between you're trying to prepare for a bowl, you're having guys opt out, you're trying to get your early signing day finished, coaches are leaving, coaches are getting fired. You have another signing day in February that you're trying to prepare for. You have guys coming in early who can practice with you, but you can't play. You have transfers that are leaving your program, so you don't really know who's on your roster for the bowl game. It's ridiculous. And the bowls, we're running bowls like it's 1985, and it's not 1985 anymore. And somebody's got to have the foresight to figure out how to do it better.
All right, changes are coming. Thank you always, Jones, for joining us here on ESPN Asheville. We will catch you on Saturday for the basketball game.
Talk to you soon.
Have a great one. And you'll hear it right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It'll be a 11 o'clock pregame show on Saturday here on ESPN, and then it will be a noon tip-off against the Clemson Tigers. We'll be right back.
Young is in the gun. Here's the snap. Give to Chuba. Straight ahead. Chuba barging for the end zone. Touchdown Panthers.
This is Anish Shroff. Join me, Jake Delhomme, Jim Zoki, and Sharon Thorsland Sunday as the Panthers wrap up their regular season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pregame is at noon, kickoff at 1 p.m. on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
Panther football, live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
At Mattress Firm's once-a-year sale and clearance, you can save up to 60% on select mattresses. Plus, score a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Here's to better sleep in 2024. The right mattress matters, and Mattress Firm will find yours.
Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics right now and make 2024 the year you are back to living normal life again. QC Kinetics can give you your life back. They are the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. These are all natural treatments that can repair and restore that damaged tissue, giving you pain-free movement again. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients around the country. People who had knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, who were able to get long-lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. If you have pain from an old injury or pain associated with arthritis, you need to check this out. The future of medicine is here. Regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. Make the call now so you can get the most out of 2024. Get back to doing what you love. And don't forget, you can use your HSA and FSA funds. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top-quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The bowl season is broken. There's no doubt about that. We've been talking about this for a while, but this year it just becomes more apparent than ever. Right? When you have the Orange Bowl final is 63-3. You've hit an all-time low.
Well, I mean, at this point, saying that it's broken it's kind of like saying that water's wet.
Well, yeah, that is true.
I mean, this has gotten to such a stupid point that it's almost comical for me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the question of what you do about it, I don't think it's that difficult. We talked about this earlier in the week. These student athletes are going to have to you're going to have to go contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is. The bowl games, next year the bowl games don't matter. I mean, they don't matter now.
Yeah.
Florida State, Georgia. Well, you're a Georgia fan. Hey, what did that do for you?
Nothing.
Did you feel warm and fuzzy?
No.
Did it kill an afternoon? Because that's about what it did.
Pretty much.
I don't really know why anybody would play in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of people tell me that, well, Florida State really wanted to prove things. You're missing the point. You got a bunch of guys that are NFL bound. They don't care. All right? You've already told them we don't merit what you did. So why should I care about this ancillary little game that's doing nothing but paying you? You, the entity that just screwed us, is who's making the money off this. So why do I care?
Yep.
Is Johnny Wilson going to go in the second round now because of what he did in that game? No.
As I was referencing there in the interview with Jones Angell, the article I was reading was an interview with bowl season executive director Nick Carparelli. And he was asked the question, how do you fix this? Because there is no doubt that there is a problem. And he said that the problem is not the bowl games or the bowl system, but it is the circumstances. In fact, I'll quote him here where he said, it is all the unregulated circumstances that are around it now. You've got too many windows here. You need to have one transfer window that opens up after the season's over. He actually suggested doing it after the academic year is over, and that's way too. You can't do that. You can't push that. You can't push that transfer window past spring ball. But you'd have to do it like right at the end of the season. That way, maybe everybody is still intact. Some guys that already know they're going to be gone, they're going to opt out. You could have some kind of a system. He didn't offer details, but a system where NIL's tied to this. So the bowls start paying the players to show up and play in this bowl game.
Well,
so this would have been, whoever from the Orange Bowl can offer Jared Verse, $100,000 or whatever it is to play in the game. That way that they don't get killed by the ratings or whatever.
Well, I mean, that's all well and good. The problem is that none of it's going to matter because you're going to have all of these. You're going to have the New Year's Six tied into the 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
The New Year's Six is going to be the 12-team playoff.
Yes.
So that all goes away. If these ancillary bowls, they don't have money that would even begin to think about intriguing a player to play in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've heard all of these ideas. And I'm not trying to piddle on any of them, but in large part, most of them are just really stupid. The ancillary bowl games, they go to week one. There is no other solution. I mean, if you're expecting me to care about even the 13th best team in the country playing half their roster, probably 10% of it, which I actually know, it's just not going to happen. I mean, the ratings were pretty abysmal. Meanwhile, the playoff ratings were great. So what do you do about that? You steer into, will you make those week one matchups?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the schedules are flexible enough. It is easy enough to travel. We have conferences that literally span the entire continent. So don't give me this crap of, but the schedule. I don't really care. Okay. In large part, scheduling these games 7 years out is about the dumbest thing we do. And that's in an entity that I haven't seen do anything smart since I don't. When did Obama get elected the first time? Because it was about that time.
Right.
I remember the two happening about the same time.
Right. Go and just thinking about how that would work. Like, so at the end of the season, is that when you announce your matchups for next year?
Yes.
And then you got to wait a whole year or 6 months or whatever to be able to host that game? That sounds weird.
You have home and homes that are being announced for 8 years from now.
Oh, I get it.
So you can wait 8 months.
Right. Okay.
Adam Black in the YouTube chat said that, do we still see the SEC and the Big Ten coming together? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing that makes any sense.
They'll come together like the NFL.
Well, I mean, let me put it this way.
It'll be the two divisions. They'll still make decisions jointly, but they'll have 50% say in everything that happens.
Well, let me put it this way. We're officially to the point where this is like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Zaxby's, every big fast food chain you can think of. And we're in an entity with Bob's Burgers. And I don't mean the god-awful cartoon that I can't believe is still on television. I mean some corner shack that has a window where people walk up and go, "Can I have a double cheeseburger?" We're not the same. We're not even in the same ballpark of each other. And you're expecting me to see a benefit in you, and I don't need you.
Right.
All right? North Carolina, for that individual entity, and I chose a mid-tier program for a reason. To North Carolina, East Carolina, Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, Georgia State. Every one of those schools could fall into the ocean. It doesn't change a damn thing for you. You will still get up tomorrow and put your pants on the same way. You will still make the same amount of money. It does nothing to you. Conversely, if Appalachian State, Georgia State, Coastal Carolina, and East Carolina lose North Carolina, who cares? The problem is you got decision makers at that one entity. They know that same thing. And so they're all looking out for themselves. That's why this is destined to happen. It's a question of if, not when. And once it happens, then none of the rest of this matters. We were worried about are we going to do the 4-8 model or the 5-12?
Yeah.
Who cares? There's going to be 3 conferences left 2 years from now. Who cares? You're going to have the Big Ten, the SEC, who has taken all of the power programs, and then you're going to have this amorphous blob of the Big 12 and ACC that has to combine into some 30-team god-awful gauntlet of crap that nobody watches.
Mm-hmm.
Your TV deal for that thing will be a 0.1% of what the other two get. And frankly, the faster we can get there, the better. And you're going to say I'm a conspiracy theorist here? You want to know where I really figured out that this was the way this was going to go? Hey, how much information have you heard about that college football game they've been working on for 2.5 years? You heard anything?
No.
You know why? Because I do. Just so happens to be that Eric Rayweather, that does a YouTube channel, has been pretty informed about this. It's because they can't agree on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because EA sent out all these things to all these schools. Well, the Oregons of the world don't want to release all their uniforms to EA so you can put them all out there. Meanwhile, Coastal Carolina will give you everything they've had since the Civil War. They don't care. Yeah, get us in the game. Give us a little money. We want that. The rest of them don't care.
Right.
And if you don't have Oregon, USC, Ohio State, Michigan, you don't have a game. That's where this roadblock has been the entire time.
That's right.
And it's just a microcosm of where you're at in college athletics. Because you have clueless leadership that can't figure out, well, we have a problem. Okay, what are we going to do about it? Don't know. That's what children do. Children want a lollipop. You won't give it to them. They sit on the floor and cry. That's what the NCAA has done for the last 4 years. We didn't want to pay the players. Well, you have to. Tears.
Yep.
Just unabashed tears, and there's nothing we can do to soothe you. And from the NCAA's perspective, highest-rated Rose Bowl game you've ever had just happened. Even Washington, Texas did 20 million viewers. 20 million.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, Michigan was like the 4th highest-rated college football game ever. Was the highest-rated non-NFL game in 8 years. They don't care. We're making money off this. We'll keep throwing the balloons over here until you actually stop giving it your eyes. Nothing changes.
Mm-hmm. And every time you turn on a Pop-Tart bowl, they go, we can do this a little longer.
Well, I mean, the Pop-Tart bowl is what the NCAA is going to be left with.
Yeah.
Because the major bowls are going with the major programs.
No doubt.
Because the Rose Bowl understands, okay, Washington, you're cute. I think you have a legit shot to win a national title on Monday. You don't move a needle at all.
No.
I'm sure you saw Kirk Herbstreit in between shots of his dog. Whew, you talk about something that's aged bad. Ben was cute 4 weeks ago. Ben has worn on me a little bit. Okay? I get it. Oh, look, there's a dog in the production room. It's cute. Or you can go back to the game. Maybe show me a replay of something. That would be swell. I don't know where the impetus is going to come from, because all of the Big Ten schools are so they're so soothed now because the TV deal's so big. All the SEC schools are soothed to such a point that they're fine. Hey, you want to keep doing this? Cool. Because if we had the playoff this year with the rules as I currently understand it, you would have had the champion of the ACC, which would have been Florida State. You'd have had the champion of the Big 12. You'd had the highest group of 5, which was Liberty. Every other team would have been from the Big Ten and the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I got all my seats at the table. And that divide is just going to continue to split, because you're going to have these games that rate so highly and they produce so much money, and all these schools and all these conferences get so much money. And it's not going to change where Clemson's playing a skeleton roster, and that doesn't change anything.
No. The games have to be moved from the end of the season, because nobody wants to play in an extra game when there's stuff on the line, right? There's personal things on the line here. Nobody cares about...
Well, I mean, they don't have to be moved. They have to be moved if you expect them to make any money. But, I mean, I'll level with you. Once you go to 12 teams, I don't care if every player from Louisiana plays against every player from Western Kentucky.
No.
I'm not watching it because I don't care.
No. I watched one bowl game outside of the college football playoff.
And it was your team.
And it was my team. And that's how this has become.
Adam Black here's another angle. With the bowl viewership dropping, won't the sponsorships for those bowls drop as well? Though they will.
They will.
That's why it's been. But that's been a problem forever. That's why you had a credit lender from like Biloxi, Mississippi, that had a bowl game.
Right.
That would never have happened 20 years ago.
No, the famous Toastery Bowl.
Yeah, none of us even knew what the famous Toastery was.
I had to look it up because it's a local chain. It's a Charlotte chain of brunch places that was sponsoring a bowl game. It's not the big business that it once was.
No, but it's still cute to people like Barstool,
yes,
who can go, "Hey, we'll throw Dave Portnoy up there."
But I think that sends the message even more.
It does.
Of you have the LA Bowl by Jimmy Kimmel and the Barstool Bowl, and you've got these lower level entities. Not that they don't make a lot of money, they do, but I'm just saying you wouldn't have seen that.
Yeah, I kind of knew it was all said and done when a bum like Jimmy Kimmel got a bowl. God, you talk about a guy, dude, you used to be, you did the man show, bro. 25 years later. Never mind.
He's just grown. He's matured.
Just a fleshy pouch where it used to be.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, at 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yes, snow and freezing rain on the way, and you know how this one goes. With elevation, a little bit better chance of accumulating snowfall, but early Saturday, could get a little icy here. This afternoon, gorgeous day for early January, 40 and sunny. Tonight, 20, teens in many spots. Tomorrow, becoming cloudy, 43. Then toward morning, Saturday, we'll see some snow and freezing rain, 29, and then rising temperatures as, at least here locally, we change to rain sometime Saturday, but a longer period of freezing rain and or snow with elevation. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% on select Sanctuary by Green Fiber blown-in insulation when you buy 30 or more. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Asheville Smiles has been featured in national publications like Good Housekeeping and Woman's Day. And check out this 5-star Google review. My dental experience was wonderful. I cannot say enough about Dr. Merrill and her amazing team at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. Dr. Merrill took time to explain everything. She made me feel relaxed and confident that I was in good hands. I apologize for those tears at your office. Those were tears of joy. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dr. Merrill, for the hope to get my smile back. Check out Asheville Smiles online at ashevillesmiles.com.
With all these new winners at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club, we need to decide who's in charge.
We need a top prize winner.
We need someone who's good with words, like us crossword winners.
If elected leader, I will extend the hours during which all winners can use the diamond-encrusted hot tub.
Yes! New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with $130 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.22 to 4.51. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Ew. Gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors. It helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Now's the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingalls Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Lando Sky Distributors fleet. Begin earning paid time off on your first day. Our drivers average $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Lando Sky offers excellent pay, full benefits, and 401k matching. No experience? Apply for our driver trainee program. Visit inglescareers.com to know more. That's inglescareers.com.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And we're back in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. It's time to get weird. Jeremy, you going to tell that story you told me earlier?
I don't know what story it was.
The virtual world.
No,
crime.
No. That's somebody will get angry because I'll
shoot.
Here's the gist of it. If a crime happens to your character in a video game, it didn't happen in real life. So maybe stop doing video games. I don't know. Like if avatars have rights, I'm officially to the point that this is a world that I don't think I want to live in.
I mean, I guess we should have known this was coming, but I remember years ago there was a story about somebody who got charged with murder for killing off somebody's World of Warcraft character. And I guess we should have known that this would go to other crimes as well. Can you be caught for, I don't know, theft for stealing somebody's tokens inside your little video game? Something I don't know. I don't play those games, so I'm not really sure what to do with that. Yeah. Weirdest story that's come out today is all about the big Epstein release. I'm just gonna say, just keep an eye on the names. Watch out, because I tell you, Stephen Hawking is just the weirdest name. It's the weirdest possible name you could have had for that.
Oh, assuming you didn't have a story there.
Go ahead.
Okay, mine is. Did you ever play Tetris as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that game could end? I thought Tetris just went on forever. Because eventually the pieces would be coming so fast that you physically didn't even see what they were. You were just kind of guessing.
Right.
Well, apparently there is an end. And for the first time ever, somebody got to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it would no longer do lines.
So
Weird.
the kid's, he's a 13-year-old boy in Oklahoma.
Okay.
His name's Willis Gibson. So there's a thing in video games, which is why we mentioned this, that's called a kill screen, which is basically there is no more code written, so the screen just freezes. He got there.
Mm-hmm.
Scored 999,999 points. That's apparently the max, and it just stops. There's a video of it online. I can't show it on the stream because Tetris is a copyrighted thing, and frankly, I perturb enough people that I don't have to deal with the copyright police.
I don't want to get sued. Yeah.
It is wild to watch.
I don't know how
I never knew it could end.
I don't know how people's brains maneuver that fast.
I
really don't. I mean,
it took 40 minutes for him to play.
40 minutes? And
From
he killed
pillar
the
to post.
game.
Yeah.
Good night.
I don't think I ever played a game of Tetris that lasted more than like 8 minutes.
Right, because they, as you said, they eventually start coming so fast you can't even see them. I mean, I played Tetris on the Game Boy, and that's real challenging. Was this on a Game Boy?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what this was. I don't know what this, because it just shows the screen. I can't, the video, I can't see anything else. It's in color.
Yeah. Gambit fan says, how is Tetris still making money?
I have no idea.
They have apps. That's why. I can get Tetris on my television at home for $5.99 a month, I think it is. I'm not paying for that. But, yeah, I mean, it's still out there in app form that you can pay to play on whatever service. So that's why I was curious. Like, did he do this on a phone, and is that just the new one has an end at 999,000 points or whatever? I feel like my mom could destroy anybody at Tetris. It's the weirdest thing about my mom. She could not play video games for nothing. You hand her a Game Boy with either Dr. Mario or Tetris on it, she will leave you in the dust. Something how that brain works.
Yeah, I can't do it. I could do it as a child. I can't do it now.
You can't do it now. All right, we earlier in the program we're talking about NFL not for long. Some teams enjoying the good times now. It might fall off a cliff after this season or in the next couple of seasons. But we need to do the flip side of that. Who's in the doldrums right now that has a lot of hope?
Well, I mean, I think the obvious answer is the Jets, because you've got a defense that good. You lost your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think that answer is obvious. I'm not so sure it's accurate.
There are two obvious answers here, and there are two, I don't know if they're accurate. The other one's the LA Chargers, because I can't trust you as a franchise.
Well, I mean, and that's the problem, is that there are a handful of entities in this league that you just look at and go, you know what? It may be bad forever. Because it's been bad forever.
Mm-hmm.
And the only two that have really gotten out of that are the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions, and let's be really honest, neither one of them's actually won anything yet. So I didn't actually have the Jets or the Chargers on my list.
Okay.
One of the ones that I'm really intrigued by is a team that I know you're going to roll your eyes into the back of your skull.
Oh, here we go.
It's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard the report of who Antonio Pierce is looking to bring on his staff if he gets that job pulled up?
No.
Tom Coughlin and Marvin Lewis.
Yay.
And potentially like 84 former players.
Well, look, I mean, if you're continuing the CEO role here, remember that was what Mark Davis said when he brought him in. Like, hey, well, I don't need him to coach. I want him to be the cheerleader guy. You could pick two worse ones to bring in for the coaching duties.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
I think that's a roster.
But what's he going to do about a quarterback? Is he going to be able to keep a wide receiver? Because Devontae wants out, right?
No, Devontae wants Antonio Pierce. So he just gave an impassioned plea of that's the coach he wants, that's the coach that will keep him here.
Oh, okay. I missed that part then.
Yeah, that was either yesterday or this morning. I don't remember which one.
Okay.
So, but you hype up the team and you actually learn to draft well. That's one that I'm incredibly intrigued by. Because the three from the AFC South, I can't say any of you. But because you're still in playoff contention. Mm-hmm. So you're not really watching this from the outside in. I got to find a team that's out that I think could be in a year from now.
Yeah.
Who's the top of your list in that? And please, God, don't say the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow got hurt. If it wasn't for that, they would be in. This ain't the bad times. This is a bad year.
The Chargers were at the top of my list.
I think that roster, how do I say this delicately? I think that roster sucks something awful from about 6 down.
Okay.
Joey Bosa, grossly overpaid. Khalil Mack, insanely old. Derwin James has not been good this year. Now, you bring in a coach that can unify it, that's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
Our guy Trevor Sikkema did a fixing the Chargers. How many franchise players, like pieces that would legit be on this roster 3 years from now? How many did he have on the entire team?
I don't know, 5.
It was 5.
Okay.
Because that roster is so unbelievably top-heavy. And 2 of them were Asante Samuel Jr. and Josh Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good roster. It's a really bad ownership group. So for me, I mean, yeah, I've seen this team be talented before. I've also never seen them get past the AFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen them get to the AFC Championship game once. I mean, minus that Stan Humphries year, which I really don't count that because it's the only time you've ever not had a quarterback, and it's the only time that you've ever gotten to the Super Bowl, which the more I think about that, the more it makes my ear bleed.
Mm-hmm. And that's fine. You can, you know, I hear what you're saying about the aging roster and the expensive roster and all of that, but still a damn good roster. And
that's $60 million over the cap.
Well,
good luck with that. You can only kick that can down the road so long.
There's a way, right? There's a way.
Yeah,
to
there's a way.
you
You bail out on Joey Bosa. There's your way.
Okay.
Hey, weird. That roster don't look so good without that, does it?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to do it with one of them because the Mike Williams deal. You can get out of that. It's either next year. I think it's next year.
Mm-hmm.
Without it being god awful, you're in cap purgatory for about the next 3 years. I just don't buy it. I don't see how that team's going to get that much better just with a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because you still got to go through Kansas City. You got to go through all 3 of those teams in the South. The Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals, the Bills, and the Dolphins. That's still 9 formidable teams, and every one of them has a better ownership group than you do. I love Jim Harbaugh. I'm not 100% sure he's not using you sideways. The talk is real. I also trust Jim Harbaugh about as much as I trust any politician because I have seen him do this before.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of him, I don't know who I'm supposed to feel warm and fuzzy about. I know Ben wants it. I know Ben Johnson wants it. He would be a candidate.
Mm-hmm.
He's never met with you.
Yep.
He could meet the Spanos family and immediately go, nah, I think I'm good.
I don't know that I want. I don't know that I want that to be Ben's first crack at it. Right.
That's a really daunting job.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's a really daunting job because you have a team that feels like it's in a win now window that's really not.
Super high pressure. And that's the kind of job that can break a guy.
Yeah, and it seems like every piece is not as attractive as they were a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn Slater, we looked at him as a no-doubt franchise left tackle. Not a lot of players in this league have more penalties than Rashawn Slater. Zion Johnson, I forgot he was on that team for about 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm. A team that's not in contention right now that could take a leap next year. I mean, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. Because
I don't mind that because I do think you got the coach right
mm-hmm.
and you do have a quarterback in place.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that quarterback can ever be better than the 10th best quarterback in the league.
And maybe not, but still that gets you in a much better place than you are right now, right? The Dallas Cowboys have had that for decades.
Yeah.
And they've been outside the playoffs or sniffing the playoffs.
Yeah, but we're talking about the good times. I'm not talking about, we finished as the 9th team in the NFC. Yeah, the Cardinals, because then basically all you had to do was turn the standings upside down and go, hey, all of you that are picking the top 6, it can't physically get any worse than this. And Arizona's they're a ways away to me.
I don't know that that's true.
From a talent standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this team is probably – I could see one offseason, Jonathan Gannon could turn that into a back end of the playoff team. Another good offseason, I would say 2 years, they could be a decent threat.
You'd have to have the 2 best drafts in NFL history.
Really? They're that bad?
Okay, ask yourself this. What's the best draft class you've seen from any team in the last 10 years?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it'd probably be the Eagles.
I would have said it was the Jets from 2 years ago.
Yeah, Jets from 2 years ago.
Okay, so you had Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, and Breece Hall. Where does that team finish?
The Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah. You still couldn't defend a desk lamp.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you'd be in the playoff hunt, wouldn't you?
6-11. Really? You'd
You'd
be where the New York Jets are right now.
Really?
Because now you have an offense and no defense. You're in the same boat they're in. In reverse.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that went without saying, and then as soon as I said it, I went, I hope you don't think I think you think I'm that stupid. Adam Black said one that's really interesting to me. The Atlanta Falcons. But he said they could be legit with a competent coach and a quarterback. I think it's really just the coach. I think Arthur Smith's what holds them back. And look, I don't like Taylor Heineke. I don't like Desmond Ridder. Here's what I know. With Ron Rivera, Taylor Heineke was a competent NFL starter. In Atlanta, he looks like Matt Corral. I don't know why that happened. I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if he's just a terrible fit for that system. I don't know if somebody hit him in the head with a rock. I don't know. But he is not the same player I saw even a year ago. And I think the Arthur Smith thing is that snake is dead from the head down. And it's old mustached man Arthur Smith.
Mm-hmm. I don't see it for Atlanta. I really don't.
I don't see how.
You have Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts. You have Bijan Robinson. Your skill positions are great.
And your offensive line's great.
For now.
For now, they're all signed for 3 years. Well, what more do you want? Not one of them's older than 31.
Are they? I thought they were older than that.
No.
Yeah, I don't. I
Jake
just don't
Matthews
see it.
is the only one with any real. As a matter of fact, I think 2 of them are still on the rookie deals.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm just looking at that offense going, okay, Arthur Smith was supposed to be the guru.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jesse Bates. He's here for the long haul. A.J. Terrell's pretty talented. You've hit on several of these young players on the defense. You need a competent coach. You're the most talented team in that division by miles. And God forbid you had a quarterback.
What players on defense have they hit on other than A.J. Terrell?
I like Arnold Ebiketie a lot.
Okay.
A whole lot.
Okay. I mean, the rest of it.
There's another name that's eluding me.
The rest of it, I just feel like is pretty old.
Well, I mean, Calais Campbell is old, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else you're thinking is old.
Grady Jarrett, and he
Grady
up there?
Jarrett.
Is he like 32, 33?
He's not that.
Is he not that old?
Although, if you want to replace Grady Jarrett, Devondre Swift. Be a real good start. That's another name you're going to hear probably 423 times.
In the draft process.
I love him so much.
All right. So,
now you got me really. Grady Jarrett just turned 30.
Did he just turn? Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's been in the NFL since 1997, and somehow he's just turned 30.
And that's what I was thinking. I think that guy's been around for at least 10 years by now. But, I don't know.
Now,
Atlanta could turn around and win this division, but they're not going to be good anytime soon.
Now,
I don't think.
Red Sea pointed out that Arizona's got a ton of picks. You're 100% right. You hit on a bunch of draft picks. The problem is that I still don't think you're anything more than that back-end playoff contender for the next 2 years. I'm talking about who could we be looking at a year from now going, how are they the 2 seed? Atlanta, and I'll just give you an example. Ben Johnson takes that job.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that offense is going to be real, real good?
Yeah.
And the defense, yeah, it's old, but it's still talented.
Mm-hmm.
You probably need to bring in something better than the assistant secondary coach from the Saints to call your defense. Just a thought, but that's just me.
Yeah. It'd be a remarkable turnaround if that happened.
And I've seen a lot of people in the Saints. Yeah, the Saints have a lot of talent. The problem is that you're $800 gajillion over the cap.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep kicking it down the road. You keep kicking it down the road to go 9-8. If New Orleans had just swallowed the frog a year ago, that would have been the team I said the most vocally. Because I don't like Dennis Allen. I think he is a buffoon.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got the talent. I just don't. I am getting more leery by the day that Dennis Allen returns as the coach of this team. And for Saint fans, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm. I hope you're right. I hope he comes back. I think he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
They need to win this division.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Solve all my problems.
They feel the same way about Todd Bowles.
Yes, they do. We're both rooting for the other at this point. Saints fans are going, please beat Carolina. Bucs fans are going, please lose to Carolina. It's a sad state of affairs when you have to convince yourself on your own team. You're in the Sportsocracy, the ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Third hour is coming up next.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been telling you for years how great Summit Dental is with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. Look, you don't have to take it from me. Check out these 5-star reviews on Google. Summit Dental is amazing. They're so friendly and welcoming when you arrive. They have comfort options that you can request at no extra charge, like a warm lavender-infused neck wrap, pillows, blankets, sunglasses, and warm and cold drinks. I've never had this at any previous dental offices. We've changed our whole family over to Summit. Check out Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt, home of the comfort menu.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Alternative Rewind, where alt rock began. Just search Alternative Rewind and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Carolina basketball.
2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer. RJ Davis, he's going to try a quick three. Yes, from the right sideline.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Ends up to Baycott, and he gets the run out. Two-handed flush. Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yes, snow and freezing rain on the way, and you know how this one goes. With elevation, a little bit better chance of accumulating snowfall, but early Saturday, get a little icy here. This afternoon, gorgeous day for early January. 40 and sunny. Tonight, 20. Teens in many spots. Tomorrow, becoming cloudy, 43. Then toward morning, Saturday, we'll see some snow and freezing rain, 29, and then rising temperatures as, at least here locally, we change to rain sometime Saturday, but a longer period of freezing rain and or snow with elevation. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Yeah, military life can have its challenges, but sometimes veteran life brings more. While serving in Iraq, an IED took both my legs, but it didn't take my spirit.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My name is Greg Gadsden, 26-year Army veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
DAV helps veterans like me get all the benefits they've earned, and that can be a life changer.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm an entrepreneur, photographer, and public speaker.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won. With the right support, there are no limits.
My victory is just being the best that I can be.
Greg Gadsden, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
With all these new winners at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club, we need to decide who's in charge.
We need a top prize winner.
We need someone who's good with words, like us crossword winners.
If elected leader, I will extend the hours during which all winners can use the diamond-encrusted hot tub.
Yes! New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with $130 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.22 to 4.51. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
Welcome back into the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400 locally. Of course, you can hear us everywhere you go. All the time. You can get the podcast on the iHeartRadio app as well as listen to us live on the app. And, of course, you can watch us on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. I'm still not sure what the plan for the weekend's going to be here. I've been considering, am I going to go to Charlotte? Should I go and see my team raise a banner? The problem I'm having right now is I got to wait on the weather. It's going to snow this weekend, which means Jeremy's going nowhere. If it snows, Jeremy will not leave his house.
Yeah, I spent enough time in places where it snows sideways. I'm good. I'll pass.
You're good. My teams, though, they're just clinging on. The players are clinging on to the hopes that they can win the division and go to the playoffs, host a playoff game. And you get there, you see what happens. We all know what's going to happen. But it's still mystery. Making the playoffs and making the back end of the playoffs is not where a team really wants to be. But is it a step towards something better? Or is it like my team and possibly a step toward the rear?
So today's daily draft, we're going to play it much like we play stock up, stock down. Half of the league is either in the playoffs or could get in. The other half is eliminated. So we're going to play stock up, stock down. A team that is eliminated from the playoffs, you could see them as a 1, 2, or 3 seed in their conference in the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. Stock down is one of the other teams you could see them picking in the top 5 in the next 3 years.
Okay. Now that it has been explained, let's start the daily draft. Who goes first?
You go ahead.
I'm going first. All right.
Mainly because your team is the only one that should be mentioned here.
What?
My team should not be mentioned here. So it's because there's no shot of us being a 1, 2, or 3 seed. If we sneak into the playoffs and get that damn streak to end, that's enough for me.
That's all.
Beat New England and let that stupid streak end. I'm fine.
Trying not to set the sights too high here. I see.
Yeah, I set my sights high one time. That lasted 4 plays.
Yep. So it's got to be somebody eliminated from contention for the playoffs.
Yes. Or a team that's not eliminated that you could see falling directly on their face mouth.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll take the Houston Texans.
They're not eliminated.
No, but if they lose this week, they'll be out of the playoffs. Does that not count?
That's not how that's not what I said at all.
Come on. That's exactly what you just said.
Half the teams in the league are eliminated. Which of those teams could be a top 3 seed? Half are not. Which of those could fall on their face and pick in the top 5? How is this taking so long for you to understand? Yes.
Because that's the one that I want, damn it. I want to get them in there somehow, some way.
While you're at it, well, just go ahead and take Baltimore, too. Hey, you know what? I can see Baltimore being a 1 seed the next 3 years.
No.
As a matter of fact, I can see them doing it in a week.
Baltimore's picking in the top 5 next year. It's all coming crashing down. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, Tyson Carter just gave you the cheater answer if you want it.
Who?
The easiest answer on the board is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh.
Because I put no caveat, so you can take them, and I think you should.
Well, I guess I will then.
I mean, look,
it's obvious
Cincinnati
they'd be in it right now if Joe Burrow hadn't got hurt. So there is no doubt in my mind that they would be in this discussion. They would be taking Cleveland's spot.
They wouldn't be taking Cleveland's spot. Cleveland is 2 games clear of everybody else. So that's they might be taking one of those AFC South team spot, but unless Joe Burrow was not hurt and killed Joe Flacco at some point, they weren't taking their spot. But Cincinnati's the one that I don't see them falling off. Because when you have an elite quarterback, and I do value Joe Burrow to be elite, to me there's only a handful of those in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's Pat Mahomes, it's Josh Allen, and it's Joe Burrow. That's the reason that I won't take Buffalo on the other side. I don't necessarily think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender because they don't draft well enough. Cincinnati drafts pretty well. It's not great, but it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have an elite quarterback, that's really all you need.
Yeah.
Kansas City, they have a completely different tact. We're going to have 500 draft picks every year, and like 6 of them are going to be real good. And if we get real lucky, maybe all of them will be serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have Kermy. As long as we have Kermy, we'll be just fine.
Yep.
Okay, I have the exact opposite problem of you. You didn't want to take anyone. I want to take everyone.
Why?
I'm going to say something, and I know this is going to sound nuts, but it's the one that I just keep staring at going, man, this could fall off the world. I'm going to Miami Dolphins. Let me explain to you why.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill's already said he's only playing 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
If you get down to Jalen Waddle and just a bunch of dudes, after you pay Tua Tagovailoa, and you're going to. I don't know what that number is going to look like. It's going to be a whole mess.
55 or more.
I mean what I'm getting ready to say. I'll pass. And I won't even think about it. And I would tell him that, too. If that's what you're after, just know you're catching this franchise tag 2 times. Because if Tyreek goes away and then you revert back to what you were the first 3 years of your career, I'm all kinds of good. And I just don't know how you're going to keep that up. Look how many players Miami has gone to get. And now think about how many of these players did they actually draft. Mm-hmm. Of the elite talent on Miami's roster, how many of them they draft? Oh, Tua. Well, Tua was the second best quarterback in the draft. They had the 5th pick, so it was either him or Justin Herbert, and I could make the argument that you got that wrong.
You did.
Devon Achane. Okay, he's a running back. Jalen Waddle. Well, you had to have a receiver, and he was the clear 2. So it's not that's one of the things that I've always kind of laughed at is that teams that draft well in the top 10, it takes a lot to draft badly when you're consistently in the top 10. And yet, Miami found a way to do it for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Chubb. You got Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. It'll both be coming off injuries. Jalen Ramsey. Javon Holland's the right answer. Javon Holland's the one that I look at and go, yeah, you were ahead of people on that one.
And Christian Wilkins. He was a draftee.
He was a draftee that fell a little bit and fell right in their lap.
He did. I think he was like.
And yes, you did have to actually say the name.
Yeah.
I get that, and you deserve some credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at Mike McDaniel going, you're one of those. You're one of those coaches like Chip Kelly that you think you're smarter than everybody else. That is the NFL is batting 1,000 on figuring those coaches out and chewing them up and spitting them out. Now, he could be the one that bucks the trend. He's the youngest of every coach I could ever imagine putting in that role. But I just look at Miami and go, man, the AFC is evil. The AFC is evil. This is a roster you went super all in on. You gave up a ton of capital to get guys like Bradley Chubb and to get guys like Jalen Ramsey and Tyreek Hill. And the NFL's undefeated with teams that do that. You have a window. It don't tend to stay open very long.
Unless you can turn it into the next step, right? Unless you can turn it into this is now Kansas City South.
Kansas City didn't go all in. They drafted the vast majority of guys. Travis Kelce drafted him. Pat Mahomes drafted him. Tyreek Hill drafted him. Chris Jones drafted him. That's the old guard. Now you look at the new guard, they drafted them all. Miami has not really shown me a predilection to doing that.
Except for their line.
Creed Humphrey drafted him. Trey Smith drafted him. Okay, you went and signed Joe Tooney. The two tackles, I got news for you. Neither one of them's on that roster next year. I'll bet you anything you want.
Right.
They will take the bath on Jawan Taylor to get out of that because that's the two worst pieces on that team. Marquez Valdez-Scantling included. Jawan Taylor can't even figure out when the ball's going to get snapped. Now, the harder – Miami was the easier one. You may think I don't know if you'll do it or not. You may think I'm out of my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans.
To what?
Next 3 years, they could be a top 3 seed in the AFC.
Not
Let me explain
a
to you
chance.
why. I love Will Levis. You already know that. I love Rand Carthon, too. Mike Vrabel's one of the best coaches in the league, and I don't think they're moving off of him no matter how much smoke you hear from outside places. I don't see a path that Rand Carthon lets him go. At least not for free. I mean, is there a path that New England calls and says, hey, we'll give you the 3rd pick in the draft for done. He's already on the plane. No takesy-backsies. I believe in the foundation of that franchise. I really do. And there's so many teams like the Bears. Yeah, the Bears, I don't care how many picks you have. I don't trust you. The Jets, I don't care how much talent you have. I don't trust you. Chargers, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
I don't trust you. I've watched you piddle away exponentially more talent than you have right now. Tennessee, on the other hand, I've watched you win with not much more than you have right now. And you build an offensive line there, and I think you started it with Peter Skoronski. That could be good in a hurry.
There's a team that I want to put in this category.
Do it.
But I don't. I want to put them there, but I don't know. I don't feel like I can, because I don't know that the high side is there for really anybody.
Oh, it certainly is.
I mean, other than your New York Jets.
Hey, you want to take them? You take them.
I have to, because it's the only one that I look at that goes that's eliminated right now that I know is getting a bump next year. The one that I expected was going to be there this year. And everybody else that I look at and go, you don't have a chance to win your division in the next 3 years.
Oh, I see several that do.
Yeah,
I'm also doing the 3-dimensional salary cap math. I know some of these teams that you're looking at going, well, Buffalo's going to be good forever. No, they're not. Buffalo may have to auction off part of their stadium for bachelorette parties just to get under the cap next year.
Right.
And, yes, Von Miller will make up for a good chunk of that. I get it. You can't add anything on top of that either.
Right.
So you better be able to draft, or it is going to atrophy real fast.
So yeah, I'll take the New York Jets, because that's a team that I could see. If the fall is coming for the Miami Dolphins and the fall is coming for the Buffalo Bills, that only leaves one, because it damn sure ain't gonna be New England. I don't see them knocking it out of the park in the next 2 years and just going right back to the playoffs and being the top of the AFC East. So if If what you're saying will come to fruition, then the Jets have to be one of them. Because you got the youngest, most talented defense I think I've ever seen.
It's real good.
Yeah. And all I need Aaron to do is stick around for 3 more years, and we could rule this division.
3 more years. He'll be 44 years old.
Mm-hmm. And he'll do it. Just like Tom Brady did.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to go the way people think it will.
What?
Aaron played 4 plays at 39. I'm already scared of what he's going to do at 40. I don't really want to think about what 44 is going to look at.
Come on, that was just a freak thing.
He looks like Abe Vigoda coming out there. Blue 43. Oh, I lost my teeth. Oh, anybody got any drugs? I need drugs. No, not that kind. Not the fun kind.
That's right.
I need Viagra and painkillers. That's all I need.
He'll do it just like Tom Brady did, and he'll probably be better at it because he's on the drugs.
I really hope somebody cuts that Viagra and painkillers. That's really what I need, because I could do just. That could end up in a promo on your ESPN Radio Box real soon.
All right, after your New York Jets. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. We need to take a break anyway, so there you go. First couple of picks in the books. Cincinnati and New York Jets. I'm taking them as eliminated teams that could end up as 1 through 3 seeds over the next few years in the NFL. Jeremy is taking the Miami Dolphins to take the great fall and pick at the top 5 in the next 3 years, and the Tennessee Titans as a possible 1 through 3 seed. On the upswing. We'll continue with the Daily Draft next.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% on select Sanctuary by Green Fiber blown-in insulation when you buy 30 or more. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and my podcast, NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok, is back.
The Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Every Monday and Friday, I'll be joined by a top NBA writer to discuss the biggest stories in the league. And we'll do it in about 15 minutes, so you can stay up to date and keep it moving. Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Now's the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingalls Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Lando Sky Distributors fleet. Begin earning paid time off on your first day. Our drivers average $80,000 per year and they're home every week. Lando Sky offers excellent pay, full benefits, and 401k matching. No experience? Apply for our driver trainee program. Visit inglescareers.com to know more. That's inglescareers.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Alternative Rewind, where alt rock began. Just search Alternative Rewind and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
This is Carolina basketball.
2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer. RJ Davis, he's going to try a quick three. Yes, from the right sideline.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Ends up to Baycott, and he gets the run out. Two-handed flush. Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
The best season of the year is here.
tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Back on ESPN Asheville in the Ingles studio, and we're in the midst of the daily draft. If you're just joining us, the way we're breaking this down today, it's basically stock up, stock down. It's what currently eligible playoff teams will take the dive over the next 3 years, and what currently eliminated teams could be 1 through 3 seeds coming up. Not just playoffs, but winning their division and being one of the top 3 seeds in the playoffs in the next 3 years.
Now, you seem to, after 2 picks, be struggling.
I am.
And I, in the words of a great 70s band, The Carpenters, I've only just begun. Because I took 2 that I thought you might, because I know definitively I've got 2 that you won't.
Yes. Absolutely. You want me to go ahead and name them, or
no.
You want me to ruin that for everybody? Because I think you can figure it out. Then I took your team with my last pick. I'll take my team with the next pick. That's a stock down.
No, I gave you 3 shots at it. So
what?
Because that's one of the most blatantly obvious ones. You're old. You're killed against the cap, and you don't draft particularly well.
Nope. Don't do anything.
Joe Tryon Chilienko. You remember? You remember when I told you you're not going to love how this goes? Anytime I see a draft pick and I go, hey, what position does he play? Oh, no. That's usually a bad sign.
Baker's going to get more expensive. They are going to pay Baker. I have no qualms. I mean, I have qualms against that, but I have no doubts in my mind that's what they're going to do.
By the way, can we chalk up that board bet where you kept telling me all offseason, well, Kyle Trask going to be blamed by midseason? Not a snap. Not nary a snap. Not one. Not even one.
Nope.
You remember why I told you that I was so confident of that?
No.
Because if he was even competent, that's who you'd have gone with. You wouldn't have turned to Baker Mayfield, because this was always the fear. Like anybody whose job was safe, this is what you should have had a big puddle of diarrhea thinking about. Like, oh, God, we're sticking the rest of our careers to Baker Mayfield making a whole mess of money.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in it, and you're not getting out of it, because you're probably going to win this weekend. You're probably going to win this division. You'll go on and you'll give everybody the contract, right? You'll try to keep as many people as possible. I don't think you'll be able to keep Mike Evans. I don't think this Pro Bowl year that he's had, all pro level year that he's had, which I told you was coming, by the way. I don't think that's going to be enough to keep him around. And you definitely can't pay him what he wants to be paid.
Unless you can pay him in gift cards.
I really don't
Visa gift cards that can only be activated every other Friday.
I don't really think that you are going to be able to beat whatever package Kansas City comes with him at.
I tend to agree with you. All right, so you got that one. That made plenty of sense. I'm trying to find a reason not to do what I'm getting ready to do, because I'm going to die a little on the inside when I do. Mine's an eliminated team that I could see being really good 3 years from now. Now, will it take that long? Probably. It's the New England Patriots.
And what makes you think that?
The ownership is elite. Robert Kraft is the best owner in this league. I think Bill is going to be gone. I don't think he's going to skimp on the next coach. Not necessarily going to be Mike Vrabel. But you have what will be the number 2 pick in the draft. I think you're going to end up with Drake May. yes, you do have to add weapons. I think you hit something into Mario Douglas. You've already got a couple running backs. You've already got a couple tight ends. The line is not awful, and the defense is already pretty good. Oh, by the way, your best defensive player hasn't played since week 7. We're writing off New England. I feel like I was ahead of the New England curve, and I feel like I'm ahead on the they're not as dead as you think they are. If there's one position that I would not mind being killed at, especially going into this draft, it's wide receiver. There will be guys that go in the 6th round that are, I'm not going to say they're going to be Puka Nacua good. We've never had one of those before. You're going to have 10-year starters come out of the 6th round. That's how good this is. I'll give you a name, Malachi Corley out of Western Kentucky. It's a guy I'll see in Mobile in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. I will bet you that guy plays in this league 8 years. I bet when his career's over, he has 400 catches. It doesn't matter. And New England doesn't have as many holes as people think they do. There are holes, but they are fixable holes.
And you could see them in the next 3 years being able to win this division.
The Jets are going to fall off the earth when Aaron Rodgers goes away. Mm. I don't think Miami is long-term sustainable, and I'm just not sure how good Buffalo is a handful of years from now. And then I go back to Bob Kraft and go, well, if anybody's going to figure it out, it's going to be him.
Right.
Because he's an older man. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, he doesn't want his last days to be going 2-15.
Oh, no, yeah, whatever it takes to be a winner.
I don't think that team's as dead as everybody thinks they are.
Yeah.
The one I really wish I could have had is the Rams didn't make the playoffs, because I would have just taken the Rams 6 times hey, Sean McVay is the best coach in the league. So I will say they find a way to be the 1 seed in the NFC like next year.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do that because it's against the rules.
Thank you.
I've been nice. I've been nice to a lot. You know, I'm going to take the same thing I just said about Bob Kraft, and I'm going to use it to a guy that I think is really smart.
Mm-hmm.
It's never led to a ton of on-field success, but I believe in the roster way more than you do. I'm going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
And here's why I say this. You got an older New Orleans Saints roster. They still have young pieces, but my God, you are crushed against the cap. A Tampa Bay team that I think falls off the world the second they pay Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
And a Carolina team that is light years away. I mean, Carolina's 2 years away from being 2 years away. And so what is my impediment? If I find a way to get a quarterback, let's say I go get Justin Fields, or who I've been screaming that for 2 years. Man, I bet you wish you'd done that now. Kirk Cousins, any real veteran that can come in here and be a competent quarterback. Is that not the best team in the NFC South right now? And you're going to have a top 10 pick in a really good draft, because I do think they're going to lose to New Orleans.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to have a coach that doesn't outthink every decision he makes. Hey, give the ball to Bijan Robinson. Other than Saquon Barkley, highest rated running back I've ever had. Maybe do that.
Yep.
And do it a lot.
Yep.
And then when teams start loading the box, maybe go to those 2 gigantic receivers you have. And then all you have to do is be passable defensively. And I think they're just the pieces that are in place. You're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If we were playing stock market, I would have so many shares of Atlanta that I would be eating top ramen just because of what I'm seeing in that division moving forward.
Right. It's going to open
and
up.
praying that they fire Arthur Smith.
I was going to say, but does it continue to be just gross? And nobody wants to take the helm of that division for a while. Because there are negatives, massive negatives to all of those teams to me. Atlanta may be the most promising in the division, but I don't see that being 2-seed good, 3-seed good.
We have one of these.
I'm your huckleberry.
Sure, my buddies at the Ocho said Bill Belichick with Kyle Pitts will be incredibly tough. Bill Belichick's not going to win. Although, I'm not going to lie to you, I would not hate that.
What?
With a GM. That's the rule. Bill, your dog is not allowed to be our GM, okay? We saw how this ended. Have you heard from Cole Strange in the last 2 years? No, neither have I.
All right, so that brings it back to me.
Yes. And we'll have to go reasonably rapid fire here.
Good night. Well, Lord. All right, rapid fire. I will go with.
Tank's about to go. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. Your first two names solved.
No. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
The other way, down. I was gonna do it earlier, and that's the one I kept saying. I don't think they're gonna. But I guess in this scenario, I have to take another one.
Yeah.
They're the closest to me to being. You could fall off the world. I don't think you're gonna.
That's the thing about
Pittsburgh. Franchise than that.
The thing about Pittsburgh, and I believe I said this a few years ago. The thing about Pittsburgh is, they're going to go 9-8, 10-7 every single year. Until that year, they don't, and they're going to go 3-14. I actually don't think that's a bad one. I just didn't think you had the.
I think that year comes more quickly than the 13-3 year. The 3-13 is way more likely.
I'd agree.
Because here's the thing: if you're so fed up right now, where's Mike Tomlin at? You take Mike Tomlin out of this equation, then I feel even better about that. So I'll take them. And then I'm just curious to hear what you're going to say on your last one. So I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders here, just to take them off your board.
There you go. Look at you.
Knew you were going to do it.
I 100%.
I mean, there's no chance that this happens.
I was 100%.
I'd bet my house that they do not win this division.
Well, the chances that I survive 3 more years, whether it be in this building or on this planet, are very slim. So I'm not willing to put a board bet on something that I may not be in the building for.
Right.
You go yell at my tombstone if you want to.
Right.
If that'd make you feel better.
Right. So I'm taking them off the board, so you don't have to take them, because I'm really interested to see who else is on your list.
Okay. Well, you did kind of screw up my. All right, I'll say picking in the top 5, Minnesota Vikings. If for whatever reason, I mean, look, Kirk Cousins is not going to play forever, and when you don't have him, I'm just looking at what that quarterback room has looked like. You are bereft of talent defensively, and I don't feel warm and fuzzy about what Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has done for you. And now I'm grasping at straws here a little bit because I think Kirk Cousins does play for probably 2 more years. But if he were to get hurt again or just decide, you know what, the rehab took too long, I don't want to do it. I want to be the shirtless guy with my gold chains and my kid up here just going, then you're doomed. LMNO doomed. I didn't want to do this. This was the one that was off the board. And you know what? It might be the one that I feel the best about, low-key. I'm going to say the Washington Commanders.
Woof.
And I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
I think Josh Harris already has made the pitfalls as the owner of the 76ers. So he's going to come in here and go, you know what? I'm a sports fan. I'm not a sports guy. I'm going to go hire the best money can buy because they've got more money than you. It is a limitless bank account that the Commanders now have. You also have the support of everybody around you because you're not Daniel Snyder. I think that is a much more attractive job than many other people do. Many other people do. As a matter of fact, I'll chuck something out there. I've been thinking this for weeks. Don't be shocked if that's where Ben Johnson lands. Because if it were me and I were picking a job for myself, I think that's the one I'm most intrigued by. Because if I can protect Sam Howell, that offense gets pretty good, and I'm going to get some latitude on that defense. And I'll bring in one of these old school veteran defensive guys to deal with the defense. Oh, and by the way, I have $1 bajillion because that is the cheapest roster in the NFL right now.
The Washington Commanders. It's a long shot.
I don't think it's that long. I don't think it's that long. I knew you were going to make fun of it, so I could sit back and wait to take it.
In 3 years. That's a quick turnaround.
3 years is not a quick turnaround in the NFL.
You got to have a lot go your way.
3 years ago, the Cincinnati Bengals picked first in the draft. They've been to a Super Bowl and to an AFC championship game since then.
Yeah.
3 years is an eternity in this league.
I hope you find your quarterback.
The New England Patriots were a dynasty 3 years ago.
Right. All right. I hope you find your quarterback.
Because
without it, you're not doing it. And that ain't Sam Howell.
It is 100% Sam Howell.
No, he's not a Super Bowl champion quarterback. Not even a Super Bowl contending quarterback.
I disagree.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know what exactly you've seen that would change your mind on that. Oh, behind the worst offensive line I've ever seen in my life. He threw a lot of interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. All right, final selection for me. So I've done the whole stack. I got to do a stock down. Oh, look. Buffalo Bills. You didn't take that.
No.
I'll take the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I didn't take that because they do still have a quarterback, and I don't think that will ever let you crater into the earth.
Possibly not, but he gets hurt, right? Josh Allen gets hurt at the beginning of a season. You got to mull your way through it somehow. That could possibly get you into the top 5. I don't see it as likely, but it's definitely a path for you not being as good as you have been. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Stick with us. Coming up next, the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yes, snow and freezing rain on the way, and you know how this one goes. With elevation, a little bit better chance of accumulating snowfall, but early Saturday could get a little icy here. This afternoon, gorgeous day for early January, 40 and sunny. Tonight, 20, teens in many spots. Tomorrow, becoming cloudy, 43. Then toward morning, Saturday, we'll see some snow and freezing rain, 29, and then rising temperatures as, at least here locally, we change to rain sometime Saturday, but a longer period of freezing rain and or snow with elevation. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Bug Out.
Say goodbye to pests with Bug Out. With over 60 years of experience, our expert technicians are equipped with innovative products, personalized service, and put our customers first. Choose year-round pest protection with Bug Out. Get a free quote by visiting bugoutservice.com today.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been going to Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt for years. They're fantastic, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check out some of these 5-star reviews from Google. After searching for a dentist for months, I finally found this place. I needed some serious dental work, and they got me in within a week. If you're anxious about going to the dentist, I assure you this is the place that can give you a new outlook on having dental work done. They're upfront, honest, and caring people who only want the best for their patients. You gotta check out Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt, home of the Comfort Menu.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Alternative Rewind, where alt rock began. Just search Alternative Rewind and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Let's go to Colorado. They do crimes in Colorado. This is a property crime in Colorado. This is not the legal kind of crime in Colorado, where the Wheat Ridge Police Department late last week, well, they were notified to a burglary at Blue Sky Plumbing. They responded to the scene where They saw a 911 report, said that they saw a hole in the fence outside the business, and they had security footage of a man stealing tools. The officers arrived at the scene to an Uber driver who they saw waiting in the area. Anybody want to put those pieces together real quick? The dude robbed a plumbing company and called a damn Uber to pick him up as his getaway car.
There you go. That's I watch a lot of true crime things, and it seems like we don't have as many unsolved crimes, and people always say it's because forensics is getting better, or let me look at this from an alternative perspective. Maybe, just maybe, criminals are getting dumber. It steers into my story.
The driver of the Uber, once they approached him and said, "Hey, what you doing here?" And he was like, "I'm waiting to pick up some guy named Jose. And I think that's him walking over here toward the car." Okay, wait a minute. So the cop was standing at the car window with the Uber driver, and the guy who ordered the Uber still walking up like nothing's wrong. Like, I'm going to get away with this. It'll be fine. As he was approaching, they saw he had a backpack on him, where inside the backpack they found $8,600 worth of Milwaukee brand tools, which means he had 3 screwdrivers.
Everybody's either a Milwaukee or a DeWalt or a.
I saw that.
4 families you'd wind up in.
Yes. What was it? Sorting adult men is like sorting them into their Hogwarts houses. Only it's power tools, Milwaukee and Cobalt, and.
I'm a DeWalt guy myself.
Yeah.
Not that I know how to use any of them, but I do have a lot of them. I don't really know why. Right. I have long told you that I thought I could land a plane if you gave me a YouTube and a strong Wi-Fi connection. Well, apparently, Damian Zakatis took that maybe a little too liberally. He's in Las Vegas, Nevada, and there was a 2020 Kit Fox fixed-wing single-engine type aircraft that was at an airstrip in Las Vegas. And what did Mr. Zakatis decide to do? He and a case of Modelo's, a single canned Coke, and a whole slew of marijuana decided they were going to steal said airplane. Well, here's the thing about airplanes. This is where like Ocean's 11 falls apart for me. So you steal the airplane. You do know that we have a thing that you're not going to get away from us, right? Like there's a thing in the sky that will tell me where you are. And unless you fly real low, at which case I can stand on the ground and go, there he is, it's going to pick you up. Well, they picked him up, and they figured out where he was, and they were radioing into him, hey, as soon as you land on the ground, you've done crimes, you will be arrested. Well, plane, he circled around for a while, and then he realized, well, there's one thing I forgot. I got my beer, I got my smokes, but I forgot my gas. And so he had to land.
Yep.
Well, when he landed, obviously, they were there, arrested him. That's what you do. They found a book sitting next to the cockpit. Would you care to take a guess what page that book was turned to?
How to fly the plane.
Nope. Apparently knew how to fly it because he did get it up in the air.
How to land it.
How to land it. Yeah. Apparently he forgot that what goes up must come down. Yep. And so he had opened the manual like he was driving a Kia Rio and flipped it to the, hey, how you land this thing page.
I think that's one I would have figured out before I got up
100%.
there, was how am I going to get back down? Like, even if you're like, you know, you play one of those flight simulator games, right? And you know flaps and things and how to get it off the ground. You need to figure out how to land that sucker.
By the way, if you ever think you actually know how to fly a plane, I can show you that you don't. You buy the really expensive flight simulator and get the really expensive controls and put it on all the way up. It's harder than that. You won't get it off the ground. You sure as hell won't get it back on the ground.
I couldn't even pay enough attention to it to get it off the ground in the first place.
Yeah, that's a game that I think every person on the planet has tried to play at some point, and then they just go, this is stupid.
Yeah, I see people using it or doing it. I'm like, that looks like fun. I'll download it. Nope.
I used to tell a joke on stage about flight simulators. What made me really nervous to fly, because I was always afraid someday I would get a pilot that did the same thing I did, which was I got it off the ground, then got bored and went, screw it, I'm going to play Xbox. Just parachuted out like DB Cooper, and now,
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Gambit fan says, to be fair, most crime smokers never think about coming down when they're high as a kite.
That's
not
a bell ring.
Yes, it's not a lie.
There it is. My bell has gone MIA.
Again, it's over here. You're in the Sportsocracy. This ESPN Asheville will return the bell where it needs to go, and then coming up after the break, Flostradamus will do that thing that he really doesn't want to do, which is fix the New England Patriots.
And it's not as hard as I want it to be.
With all these new winners at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club, we need to decide who's in charge.
We need a top prize winner.
We need someone who's good with words, like us crossword winners.
If elected leader, I will extend the hours during which all winners can use the diamond-encrusted hot tub.
Yes!
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with $130 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.22 to 4.51. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
I was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Now's the time to get in the driver's seat of your career. Ingalls Markets is looking for new regional drivers to join our Lando Sky Distributors fleet. Begin earning paid time off on your first day. Our drivers average $80,000 per year, and they're home every week. Lando Sky offers excellent pay, full benefits, and 401k matching. No experience? Apply for our driver trainee program. Visit inglescareers.com to know more. That's inglescareers.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is the Sportsocracy, and it's time to fix the New England Patriots because those guys disgrace. Disgrace is a good way to describe this season.
Well, it's not good right now, but should be really unsettling, especially to people like me who are New York Jets fans, how easy it is to fix them because you have the 3rd pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you do have to not win this week. So, which matters more to you? Getting that getting that pick that you want, or continuing that streak with the New York Jets? If I swear to you, I think it's first 1 to 4 wins on Sunday.
Right.
But I think I think New England's going to lose. I'm not 100% dead sold that Bill is gone. Solely, I have been for a long time because I don't think he enjoys losing like this, and I don't think he's going to do it for long. Mm-hmm. And I also think Bob Kraft has gotten really tired of this. Mm-hmm. So I think this goes one of 2 ways. You go to Bill and say, look, we will retain you as coach because I don't think there is a better coach for this team than you. because there's not. You know, the higher level guys are going to look at the offense and go, a lot of moving pieces there. Very specific scheme fit here. But Bill knows what he's doing, and Bill O'Brien knows what he's doing, and Bill O'Brien wants to be a head coach in this league again. So that's my second step, is that I look at Bill and I go, if this goes off the rails, Bill's the next coach. B.O.B.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to keep the offense intact. That's the reason I'm willing to keep Bill Belichick, is because I know I've got Bill O'Brien. He's here. I've seen him be successful as a coach. I don't want either one of you anywhere near the personnel of this team. Who I hire as a GM, well, in this scenario, it's me. But who I hire, trust me, I could give you 50 names. You don't know who they are. I might as well be naming you random players off a Madden-created draft class because they don't mean anything to you. Go get the personnel guy and tell Bill, you don't report to him. He doesn't report to you. You both report to me. And that's the way this goes. You've got a ton of money. I'm going to go target T. Higgins. Because, look, somebody's going to give T. Higgins crazy money. I think he is one of the 30 best receivers in this league. I think he's one of the 20 best receivers in this league. So that's my one. I'm using my mock draft here. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. going number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears. I have Washington taking Joe Alt at 2. So I have my choice of all the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, which one do I like best for what I'm going to do? Jaden Daniels is my number 1 quarterback. I am going to pass him here and take Drake May.
Because of the arm?
The arm is part of it. The ability to play in the cold is part of it. Caleb Williams has never been good in cold weather. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the Notre Dame game. It gets real cold in New England real early. So I don't think there's a huge difference between the three, but I think Drake's the safest. And I have the defense that, I think I'll be just fine. I don't need Drake May to be a 10-time Pro Bowler. I need him to be really, really good. And I think his floor is really, really good. I also think his ceiling is really, really good. So now I've got T. Higgins. I've got the run game. I've got Demario Douglas. That's my slot guy that I took in the draft last year out of Liberty. I think the defense is in pretty good shape. I need to add some pieces. I need to add some parts. But I can do that later. I've told you I think this is this is the best wide receiver draft that I've ever seen.
Yes.
So I'm just looking at sitting here at 34. I got a lot of players I can take. A.D. Mitchell's still there. Troy Franklin is still there. Xavier Leggett is still there. But I keep looking at all of them going, you're all hats on a hat. I need something that can beat somebody down the field because that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Xavier Worthy, wide receiver out of Texas, because by golly, you're going to beat people.
Yes.
I promise you that. You're going to beat people. And so now I've got a receiving core that I've got Hunter Henry and I've got Mike Gesicki, because, yes, I do want to bring them both back. I've got a deep threat that will take that blitzer off. I've got a big-bodied, true number 1 wide receiver that I think can beat people consistently. And then I got Demario Douglas that runs out of the slot. I'm not saying I'm done on offense because I'm far from it, but I'm in way better shape today than I was 4 minutes ago.
Yep. I mean, you got to tweak that offensive line.
Well, and that's where it goes from there. The thing about New England is, unless you're taking one of the premier offensive tackles, whether it's Alt or Fasciano, then you get into you can take Talise Fuaga, who's going to go somewhere in the late teens to early 20s. Other than that, it's a whole lot of lottery tickets, and I don't see a whole lot of difference day one from, say, Tyler Guyton, who I would get at the back end of the first round, or do I take somebody that I know really what they're going to be? I feel really sure of what they're going to be. And with New England, you got Michael Onwenu that I know what he is. He's played well as a tackle. He's played well as a guard. I think I've got a center. I don't really want to just take a shot in the dark. I want to pretty well know what I'm getting. I don't have a pronunciation guide, so I'm just going to say the offensive tackle from Yale, whose name has, I think, every consonant in the English language in it.
Okay.
It's Kyron Umgaji, I believe is how it's pronounced. who is just skyrocketing up boards. He's shocker. He's real bright. But I started watching the tape on him, and I went, in a class where I don't love any of these tackles outside of Alton Fashanu, I'm not sure that he's not my 3. Because the rest of them I keep looking at going, you need to play right tackle or you're a guard.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Guyton, Suamatala from BYU. I don't love any of them. I like Jordan Morgan, but he's long gone.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed yesterday after we fixed the Carolina Panthers, and I went, well, the downside of that is Jordan Morgan probably gone in the top 20.
Amarius after the injury.
Amarius, he's got talent.
Mm-hmm.
I had Broderick Jones ahead of him.
Yeah.
From last year.
But I was going to say, could he be an option for New England with one of their picks?
You're not going to get shot at him. I'm not trading up for him. And he's going to go in the top 20, 25.
Okay.
So, the only crack I get at him is at 2.
You weren't mentioning that name, so I was like, has he fallen that far?
No, I assumed that it was a given that, like,
right.
Fuaga and Mims and that second tier of linemen were going to be gone.
Okay, all right.
So I would address that with Gaji.
Yeah, you did that well.
And I'm going to say I probably butchered that.
No.
I don't know.
No, I think you nailed it.
I watched coach's tape, which doesn't have
Kieran Amagaji.
Yeah.
Is how I would say.
And he is really fun to watch.
Okay.
And so now I'll just look at the offense and go, all right, all I got to get is what I got out of the defense this year. I got some money. I can throw some veterans at it. But I got Christian Gonzalez. I got Jonathan Jones. I got Matthew Judon coming back off injury. I got a lot invested in this defense. I got to fix the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can fix the offense to where the offense is just competent, then I'm a playoff contender. I keep Bill. I don't upset the apple cart, but I give myself an out.
I was going to say, yeah.
And that out is Bill O'Brien.
Yes.
Everybody talks about the Nick Saban rehab tour. Bill's done a pretty damn good job of that same thing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because guys go out on their own and they crash and burn. The only one that didn't crash and burn was Bill O'Brien. Where he crashed and burned was as a personnel guy. And that's where I think the disconnect is in New England. You can't have the same guy running the personnel that runs the team. The old Bill Parcells, if I'm going to cook the dinner, I need to shop for the groceries. Or maybe I could get somebody with a pocket full of coupons to shop for the groceries, because shopping for the groceries, good players are good players.
Yeah.
And you're a good coach, and you'll make my good players on the field.
As long as Bill Belichick is in that building, though, I don't think he's going to be willing to give that up. I don't know if there's somebody that he trusts to do that for him.
One thing I wanted to touch on, it came from a New England fan, Tyson Carter. He wanted to pass on the quarterback and take Marvin Harrison or Malik Neighbors. I understand your premise, because you've just seen Carolina go into this where they're absolutely killed with receivers, and I get why you're saying it. I just cannot do it. I can't go into another year with Bailey Zapp or Mac Jones. I have to at least take a shot on a high-end prospect. I took the best one left with Mac Jones, and it blew up in my face. I have all of them in front of me. And frankly, I don't care which one you like. I like Drake May in the cold. If you like Caleb Williams better, go that route. But I got to get a quarterback. Then I'm going to get a receiver. I'm going to get a tackle. And I'm going to throw a bunch of money at T. Higgins.
You're in the Sportsocracy, this ESPN Asheville, the NFL regular season almost in the books. We got 1 week to go, which means tomorrow is the final Football Friday of the regular season. We'll see you right here in the Ingles studio at noon.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yes, snow and freezing rain on the way, and you know how this one goes. With elevation, a little bit better chance of accumulating snowfall, but early Saturday, gonna get a little icy here. This afternoon, gorgeous day for early January, 40 and sunny. Tonight, 20, teens in many spots. Tomorrow, becoming cloudy, 43. Then toward morning, Saturday, we'll see some snow and freezing rain, 29, and then rising temperatures as, at least here locally, we change to rain sometime Saturday, but a longer period of freezing rain and or snow with elevation. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent beads.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.